Hello and welcome in Eldredge Park. We got our booth cam today, Dylan Pescatore and Ian Nicholas. Ian, it's Game 7. The Firebirds are 2-4, and they're back at home facing a Harwich team that they're all too familiar with.
Unfortunately so, after Harwich, an East Division foe, blew the doors off of Orleans in its home opener a week ago today. 10-3. I would say the final score not indicative, Dylan, of how that game went down. It was just a 3-run game heading into the ninth, but Harwich showed that it has a lot of raw power and a lot of great stuff. So hopefully Orleans on a skid of its own. Both teams on a bit of a skid, and both teams need this win badly.
As they get ready in the infield, Orleans, a starting pitcher that faced these Mariners just a week ago, Cam Leiter, had a bit of a shaky outing. However, 2 of his 4 innings that he threw were outstanding under 10 pitches. How can he recreate that but also have that consistency?
Well, one thing, obviously, is the secondary offerings from Cam Leiter just weren't there a week ago today. The fastball, which we all know, 97-mile-an-hour heater, is a big league-level pitch, but the secondary offering's not really there. We were able to talk to assistant Cole Cook before the game. He just alluded to the fact that, look, Cam's a confident kid. He needs to be, I guess, in a way, almost dialed from first, second, third, and fourth inning, because when he's on, he could be the best pitcher on this team. But when he's maybe a little laid back, you're going to have those innings where it's upwards of 20 pitches.
He's got to stay dialed. He's got to stay locked in throughout his entire outing. And this Harwich team, who only has 1 home run on the year, however, they have extra base power.
They do, and we'll get a bit of a look at their lineup, but they need to recreate the power that they were able to display the last time these two teams played. They are double-hitting machines, top 3 in the league in hitting doubles. And when you look at this lineup, it starts with Jacob Humphrey in center, Seaver King at second, Kalen Culpepper at third, Hunter Fitzgerald as doing the DH, and Kennedy Jones in left, Matt Scannell in first, Brian Art at catcher, Lorenzo Carrier in right, and Ali Camarillo at short.
Sam Armstrong does the pitching for Harwich. Cam Leiter does the pitching for Orleans. Sit back and enjoy as we get going here on a Sunday night in Orleans. Leiter's first pitch is fouled. First base side out of play as he starts it off with the fastball.
Leiter in his start exactly a week ago against Harwich. 4 innings, 3-run ball, 4 free passes, only 1 strikeout for a guy who struck out 80 in under 60 innings at Central Florida this past spring.
Here comes the 0-1. Dropped by Carpellotti. We're going to do the defensive alignment now for the Firebirds. And Ian, take it away.
Yeah, Owen Carpellotti behind the dish. Matt Hallback, a new Firebird at first. Johnny Olmstead at second. Jack Penny at third. Andy Blake at short. Outfield made up of Jake Casey in left, Eddie King in center, and Eddie Micheletti in right.
And there's a graphic of what Ian just said. 2-1 the count as Leiter missed with the slider. Against Humphrey, he goes fastball inside. Now down 3-1 in the count is Leiter. His second start here in the Cape as he looks to get his feeding under him. Just finished his freshman season over at UCF and issues a walk to Humphrey. Leiter will be transferring to Florida State starting in the fall. He starts this game off with a walk.
Plenty of scouts out here to watch later tonight. Obviously, as you mentioned, not to pick him up in the portal, as he's already made his decision to join Link Jarrett's crew in the turnaround of the Seminoles program down in Tallahassee. But he is draft eligible in 2 seasons, and obviously with the pedigree, with the Leiter family, and his success in the past, he's going to be highly coveted in a few years.
Seaver King takes a swing and a miss at a fastball from Leiter. 0-1 the count to King. Runner on first is Humphrey as we just got going here at Eldredge Park. It's Leiter against these Mariners that he saw just a week ago. King fouls this one back. Quickly up 0-2 in the count is Leiter. And that's something important for him to get ahead in the count early.
It is, especially when he's got such nasty stuff. You want to be able to free your arsenal later in the at-bats instead of restricting yourself and needing to throw strikes.
The 0-2, the curveball's just tapped foul. Carpellotti will come and pick it up. First time Owen has caught Leiter this year was Henry Hunter from UAB, the other catcher on this Firebirds roster, against Harwich, who caught Leiter just a week ago.
Obviously, the connection between these guys is going to be important the entirety of the summer. Orleans is probably only rocking with 2 catchers all summer long, and Hunter and Carp.
The 0-2, fastball's fouled back. King battling up there as Humphrey still at first. And so is Matt Hallback, a new player for the Firebirds, just arrived a few days ago, and he'll be batting fourth for Orleans tonight. Still up 0-2 in the count is Leiter against King. He'll check over on Humphrey at first. No dice there.
King, a rising junior, listed as a Wake Forest player. You're probably wondering, why is he here? Well, it's because he's transferring to the Demon Deacons. As Wake Forest.
0-2, sat him down, looking, fastball.
Tough guy to strike out. Similar to what we saw in that first inning, Dylan, way back last Sunday.
The fastball high in the zone gets King as Leiter gets his first K of the night. And up comes Keelan Culpepper. He's reaching all 6 games that Harwich has played so far this year. This is game number 7. Leiter looking to break that streak. Before we get a pitch, it's a check over at first on Humphrey. A rain out yesterday, which made the game against Brewster and at Brewster now moved to Wednesday. The rain put a damper on that one. Fastball is just low. 1-0 the count to Culpepper. It'll now be upwards of 10 games in a row for the Firebirds without an off day.
It's going to be an absolute gauntlet. But you know what? The Northwoods League exists. So they do double-digit game streaks all the time. That's what Max Fesky was telling us before the game, Orleans' hitting coach. So if you want to be in the big leagues, you've got to be used to playing double-digit games in a row.
2-0 the count to Culpepper, but not before a check over at first again. Like you said, Ian, if these players want to play pro ball, they play almost every single day. It's almost like a little taste.
Yeah, Cole Cook, same thing. Oh, you want to be in the show? As he was at the AAA level. You got to get used to it.
2-0 runner going. The throw from his knees from Carp. The tag. They got him. Carpellotti from his knees to Olmstead with the tag. And now 2 outs on the inning, and the bases are cleared.
Second time this season, Carpellotti has thrown out a runner along the base paths. And you got to hope that the success behind the dish early for him is going to lead to big things from the plate. Because his confidence, without a hit through 3 games as a Firebird, I'm sure he's still confident. He's a really confident dude, but plays like that should translate to the plate as well.
An outstanding play, a great throw. Here's the 3-1 to Culpepper. Lined into left field for a base hit. Harwich's base runner thrown out at second, and then they get another one here on the base hit by Culpepper. That will extend that streak that we talked about to 7 straight games. He's been on base in all of them.
Yeah, Culpepper's just a professional hitter. Only rising junior out of Kansas State, but was third on the Wildcats in average at .325, second in OPS, just under 1,000. You know, you don't reach for 7 games in a row to start the Cape League season just by sheer luck. one of the best players in the Big 12.
Hunter Fitzgerald, the batter. Good curveball from Leiter, but just outside. That's what's going to separate him from an outing like last time to one like here. If he can get those off-speed pitches in for strikes and make the Mariners think about him and definitely worry about him.
First lefty that Leiter has faced tonight. Not a lefty-heavy lineup for the Harwich Mariners tonight. Only Fitzgerald and the six-hitter Matt Scannell batting from the left side.
Here's the 1-0 from Leiter. The curveball again. This one in for a strike. It's a good sign.
That's the pitch that I think you're kind of alluding to, Dylan, that Leiter did not have control of a week ago today. You hope if he does, he can get through a little bit more than 4 innings in bout number 2 against Harwich.
100%. If they can get some length out of Leiter, and also that's another thing with the 10 days, 10-game streak. The 1-1 is fouled into the Orleans dugout. Picked up by Daniel Avidia, the starter of the last time we played, which was Friday night right here at Katuitt. Avidia was really good and actually earned the Firebird Player of the Week from yours truly, the Weekly Burn podcast.
Yes, available on our YouTube right here, Orleans Firebirds.
Here's the 1-2. High fastball is laid off by Fitzgerald, the left-handed DH. Batting cleanup tonight for the Mariners.
By way of Old Dominion, just like tonight's starting pitcher for the Mariners, Sam Armstrong.
The 2-2, got him. The changeup slows it down. Leiter with 2 strikeouts in the first inning. Gets out of it clean. We'll head to the bottom of the first where the Firebirds come to bat. Look to take an early lead. We'll stick right here. Let's do the Orleans lineup. Ian, take it away.
Leading off for the first time this season, a player not named Austin Over and Jack Penny playing over at third. Batting second, playing in center, Eddie King. Batting third, another Eddie Micheletti in right. And batting cleanup, the newest bird from UC San Diego, Matt Hallback. DHing, Jay Kide from Georgetown, batting sixth with Johnny Olmstead. Johnny on the spot, or Johnny Eldredge, that's his nickname, isn't that crazy? He's batting sixth with Jake Casey batting seventh and playing in left. Andy Blake at short batting eighth, and Owen Carpelati behind the dish rounds out the order against Sam Armstrong, the rising fifth year at Old Dominion.
That's right, Ian. He has 1 start on the season. Against YD, that was on opening night. He went 4 innings of no-hit baseball, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. How do these Firebirds break through?
Well, they have to break through against a defense that has been pretty solid, and ultimately it's going to be a little bit difficult to break through. But as we get a look at it, Brian Arndt behind the dish, Matt Scannell at first, Seaver King at second, Kalen Culpepper at third, Ollie Camarillo at short, Kennedy Jones, Jacob Humphrey, and Lorenzo Carrier make up the outfield from left to right. It's going to be difficult. This is a guy who is in the best shape of his baseball career. And according to his coaches at Old Dominion, he's going to get drafted next month. And he knows some of the players on this Orleans team, specifically in the CAA, a little Fenwick Trimble action. He's not in the lineup tonight, though, so it'll be interesting. He throws 93, 94, so he's certainly got big league stuff. Exciting to see how Orleans, with just 3 runs in the last 3 games, attacks him and simplifies their approach from the plate.
Coming from the left side is Armstrong. Jack Penny comes to the plate. The slash line looks good. It could get even better with a few more hits. 286 batting average. The OPS is at 675. Penny's played great defense over at third and has really heated up from the plate as well in the last few games.
There's a reason why he's leading off, and now he's the only Firebird who's played in all 7 games to start the year.
Takes a first pitch fastball that comes in hot from the righty Armstrong. He goes with the stirrups almost to the kneecaps. The 0-1, another hard fastball popped up in foul territory. Over goes the left fielder, and the catch is not made.
Looks like Kennedy Jones in left and Ollie Camarillo at short. We're all over that thing, but not as easy as it looks.
It gives Penny another chance at this one. Down 0-2 in the count. Had 2 hits against Wareham. He said, I was just trying to be aggressive. I was looking to swing first pitch. Well, swing first pitch he did. 2 hits on 3 pitches. This one's chopped to second. King over to first, caught by Scannell for the first out of the inning.
That was a good play from King. It looked like a routine grounder to second. Did take a weird hop in the dirt, but he made that play with ease, and he'll probably make a lot more plays like that next year with the Demon Deeks. But you do like to see Jack Penny get aggressive. Battled some injuries during the tail end of his sophomore year at Notre Dame. He's finding his stride, though.
First pitch to Eddie King is a strike. We haven't seen Eddie in a little bit. Part of the way, of course, so many players on this roster, and also the off day, rain day. It's been a bit of a jumble for this Orleans Firebirds schedule. This one runs inside on King. Almost hits him. But we haven't seen Eddie, and hopefully he can get into a groove.
Hopefully he can, because he is a lethal player who hit over 270 as everyday center fielder for Louisville this year.
The 1-1 is popped right behind home plate. Back goes Arndt. Will he have room? He will not.
King 1 for 8 to start the season, but a lot of fans will remember what he did on opening night on the road against Hyannis with a little cue ball and been showing his unbelievable speed from first to home on a ball put in play by Drew Farrell.
The 1-2 inside, and he goes around swinging. Armstrong gets his first strikeout of the night as King got tied up inside, and Eddie Micheletti will come up with 2 outs.
Picking up right where he left off 8 days ago against Yarmouth Dennis, where Armstrong went 4 shutout with 6 Ks and just 2 walks, and first win of the season for Harwich.
First pitch, a ball to Micheletti as he held up on his swing. The George Washington man fighting from the left side. 1-0 is outside for a ball, and he commands the strike zone so well.
He does. Only struck out twice so far this season through 5 games, hitting .250. He's always going to put the ball in play, which usually leads to good things.
Puts this one in play, right to King at second. Deja vu, underhand flip to Scannell. 4-3 in the book, and the Firebirds go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. We'll go to the second. Still scoreless here at Eldredge.
Or
Leiter right back out there on the mound for the Firebirds as we go to the top of the second. Still scoreless here at Eldredge as Harwich had a walk and a hit. Orleans went down 1-2-3. Still donuts on the board for both. And here's the second inning for Cam Leiter, and it's one that he struggled in last time out. Let's see if he can put 2 innings together with great performance.
I know you and I were both really impressed with what Leiter was able to do in his first inning as a Firebird last Sunday. 9 pitches, a nasty strikeout. Looked fantastic. He showed you a little bit of a good and the bad in that first inning with 2 strikeouts that were both legit and then also a free pass. So mostly good. Did give up a base knock. Nice to see that he battled through adversity because at such a young age, not even 20 years old yet, still a lot of room for this guy to grow, and to be able to work through some traffic is ideal.
So he gets the ball from the infield, and first batter is Kennedy Jones in the 5 spot for the Mariners here, top 2.
Jones, a rising junior, currently in the portal. A monster over his first 2 seasons with UNC Greensboro, trying to take his game to the next level.
First pitch of Leiter's from the second is a changeup that runs high. Jones had a double and a 2-run RBI double as well in their first meeting last week. Fastball is low. 2-0, the count starts to Jones.
3 for 18 on the year from the plate for Harwich. All 3 of those hits, doubles.
The 2-0 is grounded to short. Blake charges and makes the throw across for the out. Matt Halbach gets his first action as a Firebird, and Leiter has his first out of the second inning.
Really excited to see what Halbach does. Obviously at first, but also really what he's doing from the plate. Hit over 300 for a great UC San Diego team, and Orleans needs him. Unfortunately, leaving the team stay 8-Longwell because he battled an ankle injury, and, well, he's going to get drafted next month, so pretty high too.
Scannell takes a strike with the changeup. It seems like those off-speed pitches are working a little bit better today.
The fact that he got through 4 innings and only gave up 3 runs with really only his fastball at his control, super impressive from Leiter just a week ago.
1-1 to Scannell. Out of Princeton is a changeup. That goes outside, backhanded by Carpellotti. Like Ian said, one of 2 lefties in this Harwich order. The 2-1 is a fastball that runs inside, so Leiter finds himself down in back-to-back counts. He was down 2-0 to Jones and now down 3-1 to Scannell. Here it comes outside, second walk of the day for Leiter, as the Mariners have a 1-out base runner.
That's what you like to see from Scannell, who has been solid to start the summer, hitting .235, 6 runs driven in for Harwich, but he also had 5 strikeouts, which was tied for second on the team. So being a bit more patient from the plate, his 3rd walk now in 6 games, that's going to do him good.
Brian Arendt, the batter. First pitch changeup is low. And off first is Scannell. See if he tries to take any bases. Maybe the most geographically far, or how would you say it, the most geographically distance between first baseman and runner at first base in terms of colleges. New Jersey and Princeton, and UC San Diego and Matt Halbach. Curveball in there for a strike. 1-1 to Arendt.
Super interesting, right? You know, you think Princeton, that basketball team making that deep run of the NCAA tournament, and you think NCAA tournament for Matt Halbach, his team should have been in it, but they are new to D1. So UC San Diego, they won the Big West in baseball, thanks to Halbach and co. Did not make the tournament because they're currently in the reclassification period. You can't make the tournament for 4 years. Kind of crazy.
Not sure if I agree with that rule, but you have to deal with what it's given. 2-1 is a strike. Leiter battles back to even the count.
I'm sure Matt Halbach doesn't agree with it either.
If we asked him his opinion, it'd probably have to be with some sensors maybe. 2-2 the count. Arendt at the bat. Runner off first is Scannell. Here it comes. No chase from Arendt. The slider so intimidating. However, a good take from the batter, Arendt.
Only 2 Ks for him in 13 at-bats this summer, a .400 on-base percentage. He's not going to chase.
So full count, 1 out. Scannell off first. Before we go there, a pick over at first. It looked like he was going.
Leiter's definitely dialed, which is what we were talking about in the pregame. Good first inning, translated to the second. Might seem easy, but you can't get too high. He's in control.
Here's the payoff pitch with the runner going. Foul ball out of play. Off first, Scannell. He was going on the pitch. We'll see if he goes again as he does his sprints for the day.
He does not have a stolen base yet this summer. He hasn't even attempted to steal one. Harwich is a team with 8 stolen bags on 10 attempts through 6 games.
1 out on the inning. We'll do the payoff pitch again, and after Leiter, who throws it away, but Halbach somehow kept it at the bag. Might have hit the foot of the runner, Scannell. That would have saved the Firebirds a few bases.
Leiter's going to have to owe Halbach something after that one. A free meal, whatever.
Maybe some clam chowder.
Yeah, I don't think the California kid knows how good the clam chowder here on the Cape is.
A full count pitch. We'll do it again. Leiter gets a sign. Runners going. Pitches inside. Ball 4. So to second goes Scannell. A great at-bat from Arendt allows him to reach first base. And now back-to-back walks by Leiter with 1 out. Brings up Lorenzo Carrier. Playing right field for the Mariners tonight and is up in their first real opportunity with runners in scoring position.
Leiter's handed out 6 walks to Harwich in 5 innings pitched against the Mariners in the last week. The trend continues, unfortunately, in the early going here.
First pitch is a strike. Carrier with his hands, even with his shoulder. Here's the 0-1 slider. Good in there for a strike. It's a good sign for Leiter if he has that in his bag tonight.
Carrier making his debut on the Cape. Came on really strong towards the tail end of the season with Miami. Big spot for him.
Checks back at second. The 0-2, no chase. Leiter's curveball is what's going to get him the swing and miss and get him the strikeouts. However, the Mariners have been very patient at the plate. They haven't been chasing.
45 strikeouts through 6 games for manager Engler's squad.
1-2, driven into left. Back it goes at the wall. It is gone. A 3-run line drive home run for Lorenzo Carrier puts the Mariners up 3-0 here in the top of the second.
Only 4 home runs for Carrier in 32 games with Miami. But in his first at bat on the Cape. Way to make your introduction, Lorenzo. 6'5", 225, a big kid who got all of it. When you pound the zone, you're in danger of giving a powerful hitter like Carrier an opportunity like that, and that's why you can't hand out those free passes. Because Daniel Avidia, he gave up a home run yesterday, but Avidia great at not handing out free passes.
Camarillo down the right field line, over goes Micheletti, dives but couldn't get there in time. A few things happened there on the home run by Carrier. Leiter walked the first 2 guys after he got a ground out of Jones on a 2-0 pitch. And then he was up 0-2 in the count over Carrier and left one right over the middle of the plate.
That's what we've been preaching for Orleans, right, is when you have runners in scoring position, even when you go down in a count, how do you respond?
Camarillo takes outside. You're exactly right. It's if you're in those situations and maybe the count doesn't favor you, how do you somehow find a way to get those runners in? And Carrier did that in a big way. 1-1 is outside, and Leiter seems to have lost the zone a little bit. Carpelotti's going to come out and talk with him.
When Cam Leiter is at his best, and we mentioned it briefly right before the game, he is got the best stuff on this Firebirds pitching staff. But what he has in high-level velo, a crazy breaking curve, he lacks an experience, only a rising sophomore. He's going to learn a lot this summer.
Camarillo to third. Penny on one hop. The throw over is in time for the out. So 2 ground outs, 2 walks, and a home run for Harwich so far in this inning after Penny makes the long throw to Halbach.
Orleans has been able to come back from deficits before this season. 3-game losing streak for Firebirds, but the last time Kelly Nicholson's crew was in the win column, it trailed 3-0 early in the game against Bourne on Monday.
That's a good point, Ian. It's just 6 days ago. Down 3-0 after the top of the third. Came back with 6 in the bottom of the frame. Now down 2-0 in the count to Humphrey. As you said, not a lot of experience on Leiter. Only 1 year in college so far. 2-0, chop to third. This one will stay foul. Just along the line as Penny was ready to make the long throw.
And it's interesting because Leiter, his freshman year at Central Florida was really defined in 2 stages. His first 7 appearances, he averaged 12 Ks per 9, but also 9 walks per 9. And then over his final 8 appearances, 13 Ks per 9, only 5 walks per 9. So he has proven over a long stretch of time he can not only show his great stuff, but limit the free passes. He has to regain that form soon.
Right back to him. He'll take a few steps and underhand it to first for the out. Not before the Mariners put up 3 in the inning, 2 walks, and then a homer by Lorenzo Carrier. The Mariners up 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. Back here in Eldredge, 3-0 Mariners as we go to the bottom of the second. And a new Firebird comes up to the plate. Matt Hallback in. What do you got on him?
Hallback, a rising junior from UC San Diego. Originally from Los Gatos, California, in the San Fran Bay area. Went to the same high school as pretty well-known MLB player, Mitch Haniger, an all-star for the Mariners and now with the Giants. His favorite team, actually. Hit .306 with the Tritons this past spring. 15 doubles, 5 homers, 39 RBIs. All Big West first team, and as I mentioned last inning, helping UC San Diego win its first ever Big West championship. Should have gotten the automatic bid for the NCAA tournament, but UC San Diego new to the D1 ranks, so that's why Matt Hallback still here in Orleans, making his summer ball debut. Played for the Wenatchee Apple Sox last summer. Teammates with Joe Oyama, who was the league MVP. So these two know each other well. There's some familiarity for him here on the Cape.
Yeah, they've been talking all day yesterday, or 2 days ago against Catuit, and now today, Hallback's first pitch as a Firebird. Swings and misses at the offering from Armstrong. With a clean first inning. Just 10 pitches, 7 being strikes. 1 runs outside.
I mean, a big difference. Armstrong, I know it's a smaller sample size, 12 pitches, 8 strikes. Lighter, now 47 pitches, 23 strikes.
1-1 is in there for a strike called. Down 1-2 in the count. Here's Hallback. A San Diego college student, however, a Bay Area sports fan. 1-2. Did it hit his bat or did it hit him? It hit Hallback. So the Firebirds will get a base runner to start off this inning as Hallback gets hit by a pitch on the 1-2 count.
Orleans was unblemished. I don't know if that's the right word. Untouched by a pitch through its first 5 games of the year. Then Jake Casey got plunked on Friday. Hallback here. You never want to really wear it, but you get on base, you get on base.
First pitch to Jake Hyde out of Georgetown, who's back in the lineup. He's doing the DHing today with Hallback at first. Like you said, Ian, Casey's was on a curveball, and Hallback seems like it barely even touched him. Those are the best hit by pitches. That don't affect you at all.
They used to call me the statue in wiffle ball because I didn't get on base often. And when I did, half the time it was because I got hit by pitch. And I'd wear it.
What league has hit by pitches in wiffle ball?
A good league.
Armstrong's 1-1 to Hyde. Swings and misses over it. Hallback will retreat back to first. I feel like in wiffle ball, if a hit by pitch should just be a ball.
I think it was a ball, or 2 balls. That was the rule.
That makes sense.
Help me get ahead in the count. Stay sharp.
1-2 to Hyde as Armstrong checks over. Is Hyde 2-2 to the Big East RBI leader from this past season.
And another one of the leaders, Owen Carpellotti, his teammate at the bottom of the order. First time these two have been in the order together as Firebirds.
Looking for some Hoya connection are the Firebirds tonight. Check over at first. Hallback gets back safely as Scannell catches the high toss.
Hyde's been connecting so far this summer. 3 for 12 from the plate, a double, a run driven in.
Down even to Jake Hyde. Here comes a 2-2. He fouled it back. Hyde hitting .250 on the year. Had a huge hit in the Firebirds' first win, which came last Saturday at Hyannis. He drove in 2 runs in the top of the third. He wasn't even supposed to start or play in that game.
He wasn't. As I mentioned just a bit earlier, Aiden Longwell started the game, grounded out in his first at bat, never took the field because he got injured heading towards first.
2-2. Good take on the off-speed from Hyde. Runs the count full. And here's Scannell Princeton. Hallback UCSD at first base again. This time the roles are reversed.
Hopefully they'll get to know each other quite often tonight.
The full count, not before Hallback gets checked on one more time.
I don't see any UCSD gear on Hallback. I did see the orange batting glove on the Princeton man.
Can't miss those Tiger colors. We'll do the full count to Hyde. Swing and miss. Armstrong gets strikeout number 2 on the fastball high. Hyde chases for the first out of the inning.
Just really trusting his stuff is Armstrong. Former JUCO player. New Jersey native. Plays his college ball at Virginia Beach. Old Dominion. Just getting better and better every year there. At a 5 ERA as a junior and just around a 3.5 ERA as a senior this past spring.
Slider first offering to Olmstead. He looks at it for a strike. Hallback still at first. Firebirds left 11 runners stranded against Catuit on Friday. They need to find a way to get these runners to second, third, and of course to home plate. Olmstead into the right center field gap. Over goes Jones, and he'll make the catch. Check that. That was Carrier as he came over and made the catch on a hard hit ball by Olmstead.
Olmstead's been hitting the ball hard. Now only 1 for 12 from the plate as a Firebird, but he did have arguably the most fun and electrifying hit of the Firebird season against Bourne on Monday. A 3-run shot to give the Birds the lead for good against the Bravos.
Jake Casey is a big day for him. Of course, Father's Day. His father is Sean Casey, a Reds Hall of Famer. Was in the MLB for upwards of 10 years. If you haven't checked it out. First pitch gets away from the catcher, Arendt. To second goes Hallback. He'll take a turn and retreat back to second. Arendt retrieves the ball. If you haven't seen the video over on the official Cape Cod Baseball League, either Instagram or Twitter, it was a really cool video. It said, like father. It was a Sean Casey highlight of a home run from the 2006 World Series when he was with the Tigers. And then Jake Casey's home run, which came against these Harwich Mariners. The 1-0 swings through the fastball and tips it into the glove of Arendt. First chance with runners in scoring position for the Firebirds tonight. This Hallback is on second with 2 outs. 1-1 to Casey, looks at it high.
Jake's father, Sean, also a Cape Cod Baseball League Hall of Famer. Didn't play for Orleans, though. Played for Brewster. Come on, Sean. He's division rival back in 1994.
That can't happen. 2-1. Casey fouls it away, third base side. And on to Route 28. So 2-2 to Casey with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. It would be nice if the Firebirds could not allow Armstrong to get the shutdown inning, get one on the board, get right back into this game. Hallback with a good lead at second. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Armstrong with 2 more strikeouts in the second brings his count up to 3 as we go to the third. 3-0 Harwich.
What Cape Home Design will you dream up? For over 16 years, Cape Dreams Building and Design has specialized in building custom homes for clients across Cape Cod. Our core values of honesty, integrity, and quality work are what separates us from other Cape builders and help us make your dreams of your next new home a reality. From new construction to additions and renovations, Contact Cape Dreams today or visit our website at capedreamsbd.com.
Back to the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm impact his father, Kurt Leiter, has had on him, and he said he would be nowhere without his father. He said that he is his best friend, his mentor, and really his father's prodigy. It's so special, the relationship that they have, and tonight he's looking to continue to make his father proud on Father's Day and help the Firebirds get on track and get the win. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Sammy. 3-0 Harwich as we go to the top of the third. It's the second, third, and fourth batters for the Mariners. So good first inning from Cam. Second inning a little bit shaky. We're kind of back on that track as it was last week against Harwich. This case, we're going to see if he can put together a few consistent good innings.
Yeah, through 2 innings so far, Leiter has had to work through some traffic, giving up both a pair of hits and 3 walks, striking out 2, and obviously the 3-run home run given up as well off the bat of Lorenzo Carrier. You know, everybody, when you think Leiter, you think Al, the legend of the New York area for both the Mets and Yankees. But Sammy mentioning Cam, obviously his hero, his father Kurt, who was a great pitcher in his own right at Oklahoma State in the late 70s, early 80s, and played in the minor leagues as well.
1-0 to Seaver King is down, now 2-0. And that's kind of been the problem for Cam. It's been falling behind in counts, and it's been those walks. It was 2 walks and then a home run back in that second.
I know it's we're going to drill it into everybody's heads, but especially when you're ahead in the count, too. You mentioned it 0-2. When you've got the guy dead to rights, in a sense, you've got to finish it out strong. Limit your pitch count. Limit the free passes, and there's another one there to lead off the inning, too, to Seaver King, who struck out looking the first go-around, but you and I have talked about it a lot. Can you make it through an order 2 or 3 times as a starter, which Cam Leiter is going to have to do against ACC competition next year at Florida State? So Seaver King goes down looking first time around. Second time around stays patient, and he works out a walk pretty easily.
A 4-pitch walk for King. Culpepper, who singled in the first inning, takes his second at-bat. First pitch off speed for a strike.
Leiter's now thrown 5 more balls than strikes. Already over 50 pitches in 2 innings.
The 0-1 is low. And Ian, with that off day, now moved back to yesterday because the rain day. It's going to be a big test for these Firebirds pitchers, especially the starters, to give length. However, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen today. See if the Leiter can turn it around.
Already an arm. It seems to be getting warm in the bullpen for Orleans. My eyes don't deceive me. It's Derek Clark. Last time he came out here against Bourne, the 5'9" stud from D2 Northwood, Michigan. He impressed some people with some long relief out of the pen.
For the 1-2, we'll check over at first, not in time.
Culpepper, he had a single back in the first. The K-State prodigy.
And here comes the 1-2 in there for strike 3. Off-speed strikeout for Leiter, number 3 on the day. Gets the first out in the third.
It's interesting because even when Cam Leiter isn't at his best, he's still going to have a few at-bats every start that leave you impressed and show you he is the real deal.
A check over on first. Like you said, Ian, the potential is there. We've seen how dominant he can be in short little flashes. However, it's putting it together in one. Fouled first base side. Hallback picks it up, but foul. At first is King. He walked to lead off the inning. Leiter getting close to 60 pitches. Ovidio was allowed to get about 70 to 75 in his second go around. That was on Friday against Katuitt.
Vidia has, I wouldn't say been an anomaly, but out of all of Orleans' 5 starting pitchers so far, putting on a masterclass and giving his team ample opportunities to stay in ball games, whether it was in the win during Hyannis or it was close before Katuitt kind of blew it open late on Friday night.
1-1 fastball is high. Now 2-1.
Fitzgerald trying to extend a 5-game hit streak. Struck out his first time up.
2-1 is another changeup outside. Leiter struggling to find the zone in the third.
Which is crazy. I took it like in an hour.
3-1 we go with a runner on first in King. Is a strike on the outside corner. Leiter gets the call with the fastball. This Harwich team, who has been struggling to score runs and struggling to win ball games, have lost 3 of their last 4, and now in key position to try to take one over the Firebirds. Is down the first base line, but foul. Diving attempt by Holback. Just another chance for Fitzgerald as he'll get another shot.
If there's anybody who knows the ups and downs of a Cape League season, it's manager Steve Englert. Snagged win number 400 on his Cape League coaching career on Wednesday against Bourne. The 6th winningest manager in Cape League history. Right behind him, Kelly Nicholson. 8 wins away from 400 himself.
Looking for 8 more, and then hopefully more than a few more than that. We'll do the 3-2 again. It's down for another walk. Base runner reaches. King to second. Fitzgerald to first. It's been 2 hits and a few walks, and now manager Kelly Nicholson is going to call for Derek Clark. That'll be the end of the day for Cam Leiter. 2 walks in the third, 2 walks in the second, a walk to start out the game in the first. Makes it 5. Dugout, Derek Clark comes in from the bullpen. We'll head to break. Back here at Eldredge, Derek Clark, the new pitcher for the Firebirds, as they find themselves down 3-0 here in the third with 2 runners on. And Ian, after Cam Leiter's day is done, will get his final line after this inning. Derek Clark looks to preserve it, and he was great the last time out.
If there's anybody you would want in this situation, when your pitcher can only get through 2 innings to start the game, it's Derek Clark. Oozing with confidence as a Division II 5'9" pitcher who doesn't throw the hardest of stuff. But when Orleans needed him against Bourne on Monday, Clark came through. 4 innings out of a bullpen, pitched 2 innings more than most people expected in his Firebirds debut, allowing 3 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. And I think the big thing that came through to us was he attacked the zone, and we're not too far away from home plate here at Eldredge, but when the ball landed in the glove of, I believe it was Owen Carpellotti catching that night, catching for him again tonight, it sounded crisp. It sounded powerful from a kid who is not super physically imposing.
So Clark enters a jam himself. First and second, 1 out. On second is King. First is Fitzgerald. Kennedy Jones up to the plate. See if you can get the Firebirds out of this one and get them back up to bat. First pitch is a ball from Clark. Black, you said, Ian. No walks was the key to that outing.
And it's been the key to his career. 264 innings pitched at D2 Northwood in Michigan, only 74 walks.
The 1-0 is a strike. Clark isn't going to throw it past you with a lot of velocity. He's not going to go 95 plus. However, his ball cuts and rides so interesting and away from right-handed batters.
And Clark understands that. He hopes to get drafted next month. And if he continues to throw pitches like that, he might, for sure. But he knows, hey, nowadays, it doesn't matter what your numbers are. It's about how hard you throw. So for guys like him, the pressure to be perfect is so high. And he's lived up to those expectations so far here in Orleans.
2-1 inside for a strike. Jones didn't like the call as the count evens up. He's got to be perfect. He's got to place the ball where he wants to. Another ground out to shortstop like Jones did last time up. Would help the Firebirds in a big way. The 2-2 is outside for ball 3. Count runs full.
Kelly signaling to Andy Blake at short, moving him a little bit to his right side, closer to the third base bag. Against the righty, Jones.
Clark looks back at second. Here's the payoff pitch. In there, strike 3 called. Clark comes in and already gets his first strikeout of the day. Looking backwards K. Matt Scannell will be the batter as Clark looks to get out of another jam.
You can't touch that. Low and in at the knees. You pound the zone. You go out there with confidence. 2 runners on. Derek Clark doesn't care. Great pitch.
Clark, it'll go down the left field line and foul. Kind of a similar situation as what he came into against Bourne, right? Runners on. He allowed 1 run, but after that, it was clean fishing.
Clean fishing. Coming in for Jake Peppers.
0-1, good block by Carpellotti.
The cars in the parking lot, you hear a lot.
King still at second. At first is Fitzgerald.
Yes. Bruce
And Clark, a
Monroe.
guy who, unfortunately, I don't want to get too emotionally attached to him because you don't know how much longer he'll be here as a rising senior.
I've seen a couple get.
We already know of one Clark.
Chatham, yes.
1-1 into right field for a base hit. Scannell will reach first. Here comes the first run in King. He'll touch home. To third is Fitzgerald. An RBI single from Matt Scannell puts the Harwich Mariners up 4-0.
Just a well-hit ball in the 3-4 gap that waned towards the line. And give credit to Hallback. It might be summer ball. He laying out for it. That's just a really tough play to make. We mentioned those two are going to see each other plenty of times tonight. Now Hallback sees him for the 3rd time.
4-0 Harwich. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. In to score was King. Fitzgerald is out at 3rd and Scannell at 1st with 2 outs. First pitch from Clark is a fastball for a strike.
Scannell, 5th hit of his summer, 7th run driven in. Might not have the highest average on this team, but who cares about average?
Clark checks over on Scannell. You said maybe the average isn't there, but he comes up in the clutch. Comes up when needed.
You go to an Ivy League school, you know when to show up, you know when to be smart.
0-1 is low. He's got those smarts. He knows when to be clutch. He knows when to really show off what he's got. And that was a situation for Harwich where they extend the lead. Looking to do it even more here. Aren't comes up 1-1 the count. Curveball is low. Aren't walked last time up in the 2nd. And then the on-deck batter, Lorenzo Carrier, went deep off Leiter. A 3-run homer. Two and 1 is inside for a ball.
If you can get out of this situation, only give it up 1 run if you're Derek Clark, I consider it a win, albeit already 1 out on the board when he came into the ball game.
3-1 to Arendt. Here's a strike. Arendt's going to have to come back as he tosses his bat. Thought it'd be a ball. Gonna have to now face the 3-2 from Clark.
Joseph Wabella calling the balls and strikes. Can't be too sure.
Here comes the 3-2 from Clark with 2 outs. A swing and a miss. Clark gets out of the inning, allowing 1 run, and the Mariners take a 4-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 3rd here at Eldredge.
What Cape home design will you dream up? For over 16 years, Cape Dreams Building and Design has specialized in building custom homes for clients across Cape Cod. Our core values of honesty, integrity, and quality work are what separates us from other Cape builders and help us make your dreams of your next new home a reality. From new construction to additions and renovations, contact Cape Dreams today or visit our website at capedreamsbd.com.
I would fill bags in like.
Yes. Yes. As a hockey player, if there's a fight, you take them.
I mean, I know, but like, you don't know like the personal portfolio.
Well, either way, you're still doing it. I mean, it's either righty. Right? Well, yeah.
Back here on the Orleans Firebirds radio network. However, we're on TV today. Home game. 4-0 Harwich. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd, it's Armstrong once again. 2 innings of no-hit ball. That now means he's thrown 6 innings in the Cape, not allowing 1 hit. 3 strikeouts on the day as well. Firebirds will go 8-9-1 in their order. Andy Blake, Owen Carpellotti, and then back to the top in Jack Penny.
Finished his season off strong at ODU, too. 4 1/3, gave up just 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts to James Madison. Obviously, a James Madison name to watch out for on this Orleans team. Fenwick Trimble, he's not starting in right tonight, though. Instead, it's Eddie Micheletti Jr. This is a guy who just takes care of his business and has improved year over year at Old Dominion, boosting his draft stock inning by inning here on the Cape.
See if the Firebirds can get their first hit or any team's first hit off of them in this inning. It starts with Andy Blake, the Ivy League Player of the Year. He'll be transferring to Duke in the fall. First pitch is a strike.
Blake, a lot of potential at the plate. Has hit over 300 over the last 2 seasons for the Lions.
1 is popped up in the infield. Over goes Scannell and Arendt. Who's going to get it? Arendt near the dugout, and he drops it in his glove and into the Firebirds dugout. Play is not made, and Blake will be down 0-2 in the count.
Face to face with the Birds. And right at the nest. Couldn't make the catch. Might give Eddie Micheletti some flake, though, because the guy was scared of a ball. Eddie, you're an outfielder. You should have got there and make the play first.
Maybe that was his tactic to make Arendt scared.
They worked.
0-2 to Blake. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 4th strikeout for Armstrong as he goes up top with the fastball.
It's the 3rd time Orleans has struck out in its last 4 batters. Take your time. A lot of game in front of you. The pitcher's working quick, and the pitcher is getting what he wants. But if you force him to maybe throw a few more here and there, tire him out, find the perfect pitch to swing at.
Armstrong, this will be pitch number 34 in the top of the 3rd. It goes for a ball. 1-1 to Carp, still looking for his first hit on the year as a Firebird, as him and Henry Hunter have been rotating each and every game in the catching position. 1-1 is outside. Armstrong wearing 39 on his back in the blue jerseys for Harwich as they come to Eldredge for time number 2 this summer. 2-1, a swing and a miss. Carpellotti was selling out for the fastball.
A good 3-pitch mix that we've seen tonight. And in control of all 3 pitches is Armstrong.
2-2 to King, sliding, throwing in time for the out. Snazzy play by Seaver King to record the second out of the inning.
Snazzy's the perfect word. There's a reason why the Demon Deeks want him. Obviously, he's been fantastic at the plate on a 5-game hitting streak heading into tonight for Harwich. But just gliding across the dirt like he's breaking it down on the dance floor, getting jiggy with it, throwing it over to first.
First pitch to Penny is a swing and a miss. Sometimes you have to realize that these athletes in front of us can do things that we can't. I know I couldn't do a play like that. Pull something. 1-1 the count.
Well, you weren't an infielder either.
It's true. As a well-renowned, I'm kidding, a bench player in high school as an outfielder, my defensive range was limited. Nothing like Seaver King. 1-2 to Penny.
Grounded out to second his first time up.
Here comes the 1-2, a tie for ball 2. Let's look at this play by King again, sliding to his left. So clean, and makes a nice throw to Scannell for the out. 2-2 to Penny, right to first. Scannell stays down on it, bobbles it a little bit, but steps on first for the out. Another 1-2-3 inning for Armstrong as we go to the fourth. 4-0 Mariners.
Ground out.
Derek Clark starts his second inning of work as we go to the top of the fourth here at Eldredge. 4-0 Mariners the score. Dylan Pescatore along with Ian Nicholas on the call. And Harwich has jumped out in front early. A 3-run home run by Lorenzo Carrier in that second inning, along with an RBI single from Matt Scannell in the third, puts the Mariners up 4. And Lorenzo Carrier, the man in charge, the man of the story, the man of the night so far, comes up to bat against Clark. We'll give you the final line on Cam Leiter in just a little bit. First pitch from Clark is a strike, and Cam did not have his best stuff tonight.
Did not, unfortunately. The trend from his first start continuing into this start. Handed out 4 free passes against Harwich last Sunday, and this Sunday, and 1 2/3 last innings, gave up 5 walks, 2 hits, 4 runs all earned, 3 strikeouts, 13 batters faced. Derek Clark got the final 2 outs last inning and gave up a hit with 2 strikeouts. He's still dealing.
The 0-2 is just outside. So frustrating for Leiter because only 2 hits allowed in 2 1/3, but the walks were the issue. It was consistently falling behind in the count. Clark tries the curveball. It stays up. Now 2-2 to Carrier.
Just an issue of attacking the zone, locating your pitches, and starting ahead in the count.
2-2, no chase. Now 3-2 as Carrier battles back from down 0-2 in the count.
What an interesting matchup. Clark 5'8", Carrier 6'5", as he works out a ball.
And a walk, so that will be the 6th walk from the Firebirds tonight. They started off the top of the first with a walk, the top of the third with a walk, and now the top of the fourth with a walk.
For a pitching staff that has been solid all year long. Just around 5th in the league in ERA. Free passes have bitten them in the last few games.
Ali Camarillo, the 9-hitter for the Mariners, swings and misses through a high fastball. Another base runner for Harwich. They've been able to drive him in. Check over at first. Halbach with the tag, but just getting back in time is Carrier. His long athletic body allowed him to reach back for first base.
It's a big 6'5" frame.
The 0-1 to Camarillo is a strike. Clark looking to eat some innings here and keep the score as it is and hoping the offense can get them back into this game.
Has been a starter during his time at Northwood. Over 250 innings pitched in his career.
Check over at first. He can give them a lot of length, as you said, and he can go upwards like last time out, 4 or 5 innings.
He's already gained Kelly Nicholson's trust. His teammates believe in him. He's really confident out there.
The 0-2 to Camarillo is low, and also possibly could be a rotation option in the future if, a player has to leave or, God forbid, an injury happens. But Clark could step up in an emergency role.
100%. He's on a temporary contract, but Kelly Nicholson.
1-2 into center. Over goes King, and it drops for a hit. To third goes Carrier. The throw is not in time. Following up to second, and out at second base is Camarillo as he got just too greedy. Had his single, tried to turn it into 2. After the throw to third, the Firebirds record their first out of the inning, even though Carrier gets the third.
That's absolutely brutal for Harwich. You had first and third with no outs, guaranteed. And you said it best. Just trying to stretch it out. Never giving up on the play, Jack Penny over there at third. He's been really solid at third base this year.
Humphrey takes a first pitch strike. Infield now in for the Firebirds. As a runner on third is Carrier. Has 1 run already tonight on the home run. The 0-1 is outside. Clark looking for the weak ground ball, a strikeout, of course, or a flyout in the infield. The 1-1 to Humphrey, swing and a miss. Clark looking to lock in, get this strikeout, and allow the infield to retreat. The 1-2 pitch is high. You see Clark finishes and his back leg flips over. So much effort into each pitch.
You got to use everything you got when physically you don't have what other guys have.
2-2 pitch to Humphrey. Big curveball. He didn't get the call. Count full, 3-2. Popped up foul out of play. A pretty nice night here at Eldredge. Another full hill. Another great crowd here on a Sunday night. As Clark looks to get the strikeout off Humphrey. Here comes the 3-2. He doesn't chase. A ball 4 walk. Clark couldn't finish off Humphrey. 1 out on the inning, and now runners on the corners.
7 walks. 3 1/3 innings. Harwich is making Cam Leiter and now Derek Clark work for everything, every pitch. I think Orleans can take a page out of their book. You look at the pitch count for Orleans, look at the pitch count for Armstrong. Stay patient. Wait for your pitch. Take your free passes. And as Kelly Nicholson has said recently, move a baton over. Pass it to the next guy. Get runners on.
Seaver King down 0-1 in the count. Swings over a changeup from Clark. Humphrey at first. On third is Carrier with 1 out, top 4. As Ian said, 7 walks issued by the Firebirds tonight. They also have struck out 5. Clark looking for 6. Foul ball into the Firebirds ball kid area. And that's so interesting, and because a team that takes a lot of walks, but also a team that strikes out a decent amount in Harwich.
It's like the new era of baseball.
0-2. It's a weak ground ball to Penny. Run is going to score. The throw to first is in time. And they're going to call that a foul ball. So the runners will head back. It was a late call on the foul ball from the umpires. But good for the Firebirds, as that run was going to come across the plate and score.
Sometimes you just need to put the ball in between the lines and hope for the best. And it would have been a great situation there, honestly, for an infield single for King. Putting Jack Penny in no man's land. He played it well. But not a whole lot more you could do there if you're Orleans.
Clark with the 0-2 again. Checks over at first. Carrier on third. Humphrey at first after he walked in a battle against Clark. The 0-2 with one out. Runner's going to go. It's popped up into center. King makes the catch. Runner tagging. And coming to the plate, he'll score as it's cut off by Hallback. Carrier crosses home plate. Harwich has their 5th run of the night.
Just doing a job as King. Right there. King on King. Seaver puts it in the air. Eddie makes the snag. Didn't get enough on the throw. Cut off by Hallback at the mound. Accurate, but just didn't have enough juice on it. And now it's 5-0.
Culpepper takes a first pitch strike from Clark. Another run here in the 4th for Harwich. They had 3 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, now 1 in the 4th. Culpepper up with the runner on first in Humphrey. The 0-1 is cracked to third. Penny with a nice play. The long throw is in time. Jack Penny, a gem at the hot corner. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Harwich tacks on one more. Firebirds coming to bat.
What Cape home design will you dream up? For over 16 years, Cape Dreams Building and Design has specialized in building custom homes for clients across Cape Cod. Our core values of honesty, integrity, and quality work are what separates us from other Cape builders and help us make your dreams of your next new home a reality. From new construction to additions and renovations, contact Cape Dreams today or visit our website at capedreamsbd.com.
That was
back for the bottom of the 4th here at Eldredge, 5-0 Harwich. And Armstrong back on the mound as the Firebirds are still looking for their first hit. Ian, let's go to you for some around the league scores. A lot of games going on tonight after the off day yesterday with the rain out. And let's go to you for the update.
bottom of a 6 from Red Wilson Field. Yarmouth Dennis, who Orleans plays tomorrow, right here from Eldredge, and Falmouth knotted up at 3. Meanwhile, off the Cape at Spillane Field, Wareham trails Bourne 2-0 in the top of the 2nd. Speaking of the top of the 2nd, from McKeon Park, Hyannis and Brewster still scoreless. And a little bit later tonight, starting at 7 from Veterans Field, the Anglers hosting the Kettleers. Isaiah Coupe for the Cats, Parker Smith for Chatham.
Seems like there's some type of delay in Chatham. I know there was some rain last night.
Believe there was some talk about that game might not happen due to the field conditions at Veteran Field because of the rain all day. So not sure if that one's going to be played out.
Check the social medias of the A's and the Kettleers. Eddie King comes to bat. Down 0-2 in the count after a half swing and miss. Struck out his first time in the 1st. Armstrong is in control and dealing. Here's the 0-2. It's outside. Good block by Arndt. The 1-2 from King, or Armstrong, I should say, strikes out King. Another strikeout on the day for Armstrong, his 5th of the night, as he starts out the 4th.
It seems like this guy just gets better and better by every inning. Reminds me a little bit of how Tugboat Wilkinson a few days ago was pitching for Chatham. Just getting everything he wants. I mean, Tugboat obviously had the chain out, the jersey untucked, and was strutting around the mound. Armstrong a little bit more neutral, mindset-wise, emotionally.
More reserved, I'd say. 0-1 to Micheletti as a ground ball to short, bounces up for Camarillo, who makes the throw over for the out.
Whether it's putting the ball in play weakly or just flat out sitting the guy down on strikes. You know, we were making a joke earlier in the day, but the arm on Sam Armstrong. I mean, come on. Is there a better pitcher name?
I don't think there is. So far, his arm does look strong. 45 pitches here in the bottom of the 4th.
And the arm is going to look strong.
Alback. He's hit, I believe, in the head.
That's the second time today.
First time to the Cape, he gets hit twice. What are the chances?
Welcome to the Cape, Matt. He's good.
So Matt heads to first. He is the only base runner for the Firebirds, and that will be the second as well. Both on hit by pitches.
I give a lot of credit to Matt there. I mean, we don't know him super well since he just joined the team, but maybe it's just that California cool, because if I got plunked twice in 4 innings, I would not be happy. Kelly Nicholson, Gold Glove.
What a play. A foul ball right to him. Picks it with the right hand. Jake Hyde down 0-1 in the count. Well, first is Hallback. This one runs high.
Getting another look at Hallback getting hit in the head off the left side of the helmet. That's why they wear them.
Hyde swings and misses through on the changeup. 1-2 the count with 2 outs. Two outs, runner on first is Hallback as the Firebirds find themselves down 5-0, bottom of the 4th. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Hyde goes fishing at the high fastball. Through 4. It's almost deja vu from last time. Armstrong threw 4 hitless innings with 6 strikeouts, only 2 base runners, both by the hit by pitch. We'll go to the 5th, 5-0 Harwich. Be fine if you got hit or something. It's not chill, it's just in case. I don't like chill. All right, ready to go. Derek Clark back out there for another inning. Gave up 1 in the 4th. He now starts the top of the 5th. Harwich leads 5-0. Here at Eldredge in Orleans, a beautiful sky. The lights are flashing, the lights are on. And Derek Clark is back out there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't think Orleans has had a game this season that started before 6 o'clock yet, due to a field not having lights, obviously. Would have had that yesterday on the road at Stony Brook against Brewster, a field with no lights. That game now rescheduled to Wednesday.
The first pitch to Fitzgerald is a ball. You're right, Ian. Have not started before 6 o'clock this season. Even opening day was a special time of 6 o'clock in Hyannis. 1-0 is a strike to Fitzgerald, who's hitting a .375.
Well, that Nessing game was at 5 o'clock.
That's right. That was a fun experience as well. Another big curveball from Clark goes as a strike. Getting on in that third inning, albeit a quick one, but we were still on national TV, the same channel that the Red Sox play on.
Cam Leiter. 7 pitches in the third inning, Cam? You really had to do that to me?
Too dominant. Too
good. You got to nerf him.
And Timmy Noon, he also pitched a 1-2-3 inning for Harwich.
Yeah, you weren't giving any favors either.
2-2 to Fitzgerald. Swings down the third base line. Fair ball. Over to retrieve it is Casey. It'll be a single for Fitzgerald as he goes inside out for the hit down the third base line.
5-game hitting streak for Fitzgerald continues. And it's the 5th inning in a row to start this game that Harwich has got to hit.
So Harwich with a hit every inning. Firebirds still looking for their first.
You know, it doesn't need to be multiple hits in an inning to score runs. All you need is one.
And at the right time.
And timely hitting at that. You know, in the first inning, you didn't come away with anything. But in the second inning, you had 2 walks in a row, then what happens? Lorenzo Carrier comes up to the plate, hits a 3-run blast to left.
0-1 is swung through by Jones. 0-2 on the day. He is the only Mariner to not reach base yet tonight.
Ground out in a backwards K.
The 0-2 to Jones is low. Good block by Carpellotti. Keeps Fitzgerald at first.
A lot of Virginia on this Harwich team. Jones plays college ball at UNC Greensboro, now in the portal.
1-2, patented double play ball. Blake's going to take it himself. The throw to first is in time. Andy Blake with a defensive gem for the double play.
Just going to say Jones from Norfolk, Virginia. From the Commonwealth. Andy Blake looks good, is short. Confident. First game as a Firebird was at second, not his natural position, when he didn't play at all during this past spring at Columbia.
First pitch to Scannell is a strike. And that's what the Firebirds need. They need clean defense because in games that they've struggled in, the sloppy defense has put them in trouble.
4 errors on Friday against Catuit.
The 0-1 is outside. They haven't had a game yet this season where they played clean defense. They've gotten strong pitching, and the hitting has also come alive in a big way. Now 0-2 on Scannell. Even the Bourne game, there were some sloppy defensive plays by both teams.
Yes, free runs probably handed out on both sides.
1-2, Scannell pops the third base side foul. Goes through a tree branch. To the 1-2 again. Clark looking to work through a clean 5th. Foul back right over our heads.
And just look what Derek Clark's doing. Over 50 pitches, but 13 more strikes than balls. It's a big difference from what Cam Leiter was providing earlier in the game.
1-2 again, swing and a miss. Clark with strikeout number 3 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Let's look back. Look at Andy Blake. Double play. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. 6-5-0 Harwich.
Inning, albeit Derek.
It's always a hit and always seated on 18 Old County Way here in sunny Orleans. Open Sunday to week, 9:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. for Harvey Steve. Our claim to business will be a home run everyone. Featuring local options, players, muscles, clothing, and research. Check out our weekly specials on the French State Seafood available right before the
We go bottom 5. Firebirds still looking for their first hit of the night, and they will bring up 6, 7, 8 in the order. Olmsted, Casey, and Blake. Olmsted probably had the best contact of all the Firebirds at bat so far this year. He did fly out to right. However, it was hit very well.
It was hit very well, and the same can't be said for a lot of guys tonight because Armstrong has been fantastic. I don't want to say the phrase, but hasn't given up a hit, hasn't given up a walk. You can put that together as you will. 6 strikeouts on 14 batters faced. The great thing about the Cape, not a lot of college baseball fans probably know who Sam Armstrong is. Old Dominion, a team just 6 games above 500. He looks like he belongs out here.
First pitch to Olmsted is a strike. He more than belongs out here. Between 4 no-hit innings against YD on opening day, and now 4 more here against Orleans.
Didn't even play summer ball last year. 29 starts over his last 2 years at Old Dominion. Battle tested. He's seen a lot of baseball.
The 1-1, broken bat, ground ball to third. Up with it and throwing it over to first in time is Culpepper. Another broken bat for the Firebirds, Ian. Olmsted is in need of another one as it sawed him off.
And the Harwich bat boy just passed the broken bat over to the Orleans bat boy. I'm just happy the Harwich bat boy was standing behind a screen.
Me too. That could have been very dangerous. 1 out in the 5th. Here's Jake Casey. First pitch to Jake is outside for a ball. It's been a lot of strikes and a lot of outs for Armstrong. 37 strikes in just 19 balls. Dominance. The 1-0 to Casey runs high. Did he swing? No, he didn't. Check over at third. The only times Armstrong's been down 2-0 in the count, and now he's down 3-0.
It's a good at bat from Jake. Just wait until a strike is thrown to you, then see where you're at in the count and attack.
3-0. There were no strikes thrown in that at bat. 4 balls straight. Casey will take first, third base runner of the day for the Firebirds as he look to get something going, and Andy Blake will come to the plate.
First walk for Orleans, but it took 4 1/3. And part of that is a testament to what Armstrong's been doing. I mean, the guy's pounding the zone. You got to swing the bat. I understand that. But make him work a little bit here. Put multiple base runners on.
Another first pitch strike by Armstrong. Casey at first. Blake taking his hacks. Last time up, struck out in the 3rd. The 0-1 pitch is low. An arm warming up in the Firebirds bullpen is number 33, Trevin Hope. Of Lewis and Clark State, an NAIA school.
Hope looking to avenge his last performance against Harwich when he gave up some runs in the 9th.
0-1 down the left field line, but it is foul. Good contact from Andy as he was just a little bit early on that one.
Does a little bit of a motion to himself in foul territory as he heads back to the plate. Got to get underneath the ball. You also mentioned the timing, not perfect there. But even with those 2 things not in his favor on that swing, ball still looks really good off the bat.
Casey has to dive back into first. Scannell applies the tag. 1-2 the count, 1 out. Firebirds need something to break through here. Armstrong with 14 no-hit outs. Blake driven deep left center, back at the wall. It's caught. Humphrey with a great grab. He leaped at the fence and made the catch. Blake was robbed, and the Harwich defense continues to shine.
Great contact, greater play. Humphrey read it all the way, and he probably had a feeling that Blake was going to put a ball in the air after that foul ball just a few moments earlier from the big man and future Blue Devil. 980 fielding percentage, a UMass goal in center field. Pretty impressive stuff. for Humphrey, who has been the glue of his Harwich lineup and team.
Carpellotti takes the ball high. A real heartbreaker for the Firebirds as that one was well struck off the bat of Blake. Could have cut that lead to 5-2. Humphrey had different ideas. The 1-0 to Carp is fouled over the Orleans Firebirds dugout and onto the hill.
You look at the Orleans lineup, it doesn't lack power. Starts with Jack Penny, double-digit home runs this past year at Notre Dame. Jake Casey, the son of a major leaguer, double-digit home runs at Kent State. Johnny Olmstead, Andy Blake, Owen Carpellotti.
1-1 is low. Now 2-1 to Carp. A lot of power, but they haven't tapped into it just yet.
No, and hitting coach Max Vesky during the off day yesterday, the rain delay, whatever you want to call it, he's trying to find ways to communicate with his guys.
2-1, a swing and a miss by Carpellotti. Now 2-2. Armstrong looking to get through 5.
Get the barrel on the ball. Brought him down to the basement. Hit a punching bag.
2-2 popped up in the infield. Back goes Camarillo into shallow left. In comes Jones, and he makes the catch. Armstrong through 5. Firebirds get a base runner and a loud out by Andy Blake. However, an even better catch by Jacob Humphrey. We go to the 6th, still 5-0 Mariners. Our mic's on.
Should we turn to the booth here?
All right, we go to the 6th. Trevin Hope is in from the bullpen for the Firebirds. And Lewis and Clark. We'll get the final line on Derek Clark for you as well. Trevin, a big, tall man, will be taking the mound for the Firebirds here in the 6th.
That he will. And he has the tall task of quieting a Harwich lineup that not only has had success today, but unfortunately for him, had success against him in the top of the 9th inning in the 10-3 loss to the Mariners a week ago today. Hope came in a 3-run ball game, pitched an inning, and Harwich just came to life with 5 hits, which turned into 4 earned, a strikeout, also gave up a double. So for Trevin, there's only one way to go. Big guy, good stuff. Fastball in the mid-90s at a Lewis and Clark State. An NAI school, like you mentioned, in Idaho, the Washington native, making his way out to the East Coast this year for summer ball.
Hope doing his warm-up tosses. Top 6, Harwich up 5-0. And a great play by Jacob Humphrey in center field. Andy Blake really put a good swing into one of Armstrong. The best swing of the Firebirds' day. However, it was robbed by Humphrey at the wall.
Orleans is going to remember that one as a loud out that very easily could have changed the tide of the game. If it wasn't going to get over the wall, it would have at least been an extra base hit that might have scored the runner in Jake Casey, who's got good speed. But instead, you still got 0 through 5 for Orleans, and now your bullpen needs to chuck up another 0 here to give yourself an opportunity to claw back.
Brian Arendt is the first batter in the 6th for the Mariners. First pitch by Hope cannot be controlled by Carpellotti. Still ruled a strike.
Walking a strikeout for Art on the day. The UNC Wilmington man.
The 0-1, swing and a miss. As you said, Ian, looking for a rebuttal here against the Mariners, and who better to do it against than the people who kind of roughed you up last time?
You know, I think this appearance means a lot to him. It might be summer ball, but you don't forget who gets the better of you, especially if you're on the mound.
0-2 off speed, no chase from Arndt. He's had some really good at-bats tonight and has been laying off some tough pitches.
You look at his college numbers, and they're solid. At UNC Wilmington, he's batted over 260 in each of the last 2 years, and for a catcher, you'll take that any day of the week.
1-2, he fights one off, down the third base line, foul. Hope looking to get through this 6th inning. A lot of good positive signs by the Firebirds offense. Back in the bottom of the 5th. No results just yet. The 1-2, weakly grounded up the middle. It's taken by Olmstead. The throw across his body, not in time. Aren't too fast for Olmstead as he had to come a long way and throw it across his body. Couldn't make the play. Another runner to lead off an inning for the Mariners.
Just a well-placed ball in the middle of the infield. Olmstead read it well. The throw not as strong as it should have been to get the out, but you talked about it. Thrown across his body, you can't ask for much more there at second if you're Johnny Olmstead or Trevin Hope.
Carrier takes the first pitch, fastball, strike at the knees. And this last 3 games that the Firebirds have dropped, it's been those type of plays, the infield singles, the bounces that don't go their way that have been a huge difference between them and their opponents.
It has. For as statistically evident as the numbers have been, the eye test would tell you Orleans has not caught a lot of breaks.
Another fastball, another strike from Hope. Runner on first is Arndt after he beat out an infield single right up back up the middle. A tall, imposing Hope looking to impose his will on Carrier.
In 5 of 6 innings tonight.
Popped up into right center. Who's going to get it? In comes a right fielder, diving and making the catch is Micheletti. A great defensive play from the GW man with his parents in the crowd.
What a cool play for Eddie. You mentioned it, his father, Ed, and him. This is not their first time at a Firebirds game together, but it is the first time they get to see their son donning the colors that they used to grow up watching. Eddie spent his summers just down the street on Cape Cod here in Orleans rooting for the Firebirds.
And now he gets to make diving catches under the lights. What's better than that? 9-hitter, Ali Camarillo. He singled last time in the 3rd, however, tried to stretch it into a double. He was thrown out at second base.
But you can take those risks when your offense has been productive as it's been. I was mentioning it before, the great play from Micheletti. 5 of 6 innings tonight. Harwich has had a runner on base to start the inning. A leadoff guy has reached. You set the tone like that every inning. Just takes a lot of pressure off the rest of the guys in the order. Knowing they can come up there and do some damage if there's not an out on the board.
You want a Camarillo right back up the middle for a base hit. Rounding second and going to third is Arendt. The throw is to second. Runners on the corners again for the Mariners as Camarillo goes right back up the middle for a hit.
1 through 9, this Harwich lineup is continuing to show out. And it might look very different in a few weeks. You never know. But a lot of these players, if they stay in Harwich for a good chunk of the summer, this is a lineup that's going to cause problems for a lot of teams.
Runners on the corners. 1 out and right back to the top of the order. And Humphrey pops one up. First base side. Foul territory. Over goes Halbach. Will he have room? He does not. He goes over the screen and into the bottom of the hill.
He was right over it, though.
Good hustle over there by the UCSD man in his first Cape League game. A few plays over at first and 2 hit by pitches.
Yeah, it's a shame. I thought his debut would have some more fireworks to it, but he hasn't been afforded the opportunity. The ball likes him too much.
Humphrey, the man who made a great catch in the bottom of the inning, almost gets away from Carpellotti enough for the man on third, Arendt, to come home. He retreats.
Really good effort from Carp. Not only the runner on third, but the runner on first to keep them both on the corners with 1 out.
On first is Camarillo. On third is Arendt. 1 out. Hope looking for the double play ball. Chuck's over at first before we can get a chance. Blake and Olmsted waiting to turn the double play that they, or at least Blake turned in the 5th. The 1-1 runner goes. Carpellotti throws down to second. It's in time, but the runner comes from third and scores. Arendt scores from third. Runner at second, Camarillo, is thrown out. His second out on the base paths. Harwich up 6-0.
That's what happens when you allow multiple guys to reach at the start of an inning. You can make a great defensive play and still give up a run. Not much more you can do there if you're Orleans.
2-1 up the middle. Another base hit past the glove of Blake. Humphrey gets himself to first. Keeps the 2-out rally going. Another hit for Harwich, who is now up to 7 on the day.
I would argue Harwich is having a better day offensively right now, but it had throughout its 10-run day against Orleans a week ago.
In the dirt, Carpellotti blocks it. Harwich almost to that double-digit number tonight, both in hits and runs.
Just good at bat after good at bat.
Seaver King, who's 0 for 2 with a walk, came around to score. Up to bat, playing second tonight. That's a 5-game hit streak. That is still on the line. Looking to keep it going.
He's been great defensively, though. Made an awesome sliding play at second. And he gets plunked.
He will head to first on hit by pitch. Got a few of those tonight from both sides. King heads to first, his second time on base, and up comes Keelan Culpepper.
You know, it's kind of surprising because Hope was dominant last summer in the West Coast League. He was the WCL's Pitcher of the Year. Very rarely did he get into these situations. At a 2.2 ERA, lowest in the league, and a whip just over 1.
Culpepper takes a strike. It shows the difference between these summer leagues, Ian. You have the West Coast League and others around the country, but how do they compare to top of the top talent that the Cape League offers year in, year out?
It's a different beast. It's the best of the best every night.
The 0-1 to Culpepper is outside. Be interesting to see what arms Orleans uses today to try to finish off this game with 9 more to play with no off days due to the rain day yesterday. The off day that was scheduled for Wednesday, it will now be filled with a game against Brewster at 5 o'clock. 1-1 pitch, chopped to third, but foul.
It's so hard to dissect this stretch for Orleans because you don't want to take too much from it, considering the fact that we're going to sit here in 2 to 3 weeks and this Orleans roster, this Harwich roster, all 10 rosters on the Cape League are going to be completely different due to one reason or another. And it's just so hard to adjust to summer ball.
1-2, another chopper, this time to third again. Penny steps up, makes the throw over to first, in time for the out. Harwich adds another here in the 6th. We'll head to the bottom of the frame, 6-0 Mariners.
What Cape home design will you dream up? For over 16 years, Cape Dreams Building and Design has specialized in building custom homes for clients across Cape Cod. Our core values of honesty, integrity, and quality work are what separates us from other Cape builders and help us make your dreams of your next new home a reality. From new construction to additions and renovations, contact Cape Dreams today or visit our website at capedreamsbd.com.
That
Back for the bottom of the 6-0 Harwich. Armstrong right back on the mound. If he gets 2 more outs, it will be the longest a starter has gone against the Firebirds this season for the opposing team.
I'm a little surprised to see him out here again. He's done everything he's needed to do tonight to prove himself as one of the top pitchers on the Cape so far this season. His pitch count is low. I understand. It's summer ball, though. And honestly, I think this could come back to bite Harwich. We'll see. I think Steve Engort knows a little bit more than me.
Armstrong has been dominant. He's allowed no hits. Penny looks to break that up the middle, and cannot make the play is the second baseman, King. We'll see how they rule it. But a hit for Jack Penny. That is official. First hit of the day for the Firebirds.
You jinxed it, Dylan. I hate to break it to you.
No, on purpose, Ian, for the Firebirds to get a hit. It breaks up the no-hitter, and now the Firebirds have a leadoff single in the 6th.
Breaks up the perfect game. Well, at least in terms of hits and walks. They hit by pitches. You know, the live stats are fooling with me. They need the HBP stat in there. Matt Hallback wore those. They were quiet hit by pitches, sadly.
Which the King has swung through for a strike. Down 0-1 in the count. Penny at first.
I'd be cautious if I were Penny. He has been caught stealing twice. He's got good speed, but he's taken a large lead.
Armstrong gives him a look, now throws over. He gets back just in time, and the ball dropped by Scannell either way.
I mean, it's a big opportunity for King. For the first time, it feels like tonight, you got a leadoff guy aboard.
King takes the ball up high. It'll be the second time statistically Firebirds have had one on to lead off the inning. They hit by pitch by Hallback in the 2nd. Couldn't do anything with that. See if the tides can change here in the 6th. Another check over on Penny.
Responded with a strikeout, fly out, strikeout. Eddie King gets on here. 2 on, no out. You might have to force a pitching change.
The 1-1, King swings through the slider. Now down 1-2 in the count, a hit and run. Something to get this offense sparked. A lot of room between King and the first baseman, Scannell, who's holding on the runner. We'll see if King can push one to the right side. He chops this one to third. Culpepper to second for 1 on the first. Safe is King as he just gets there in time. However, a fielder's choice as Penny is forced out at second.
King's high-end speed, able to break up the double play. Armstrong making me eat my words. Just over 70 pitches. You wouldn't be able to tell. It's a great double play ball right there.
However, Eddie King beat it out. Micheletti into the box. Batting from the left side. Grounded out to short last time up in the 4th. Firebirds looking for hit number 2 and run number 1. Will Micheletti be the one to do it? He was here and one of the only position players here early today, as it was a quote-unquote show and go for the Firebirds. Micheletti was still here early in the cages at 3:30, 3:45.
This is a guy who has put in work. Statistically, it's gotten so much better over his 3 years at George Washington, transforming into a player who hits for average, for power, and strikes out very little. A lot of great qualities there.
Takes a ball, now up 2-0 in the count. Would be a perfect spot for Micheletti to put a good charge into one. King at first. Here's a 2-0. Now 3-0 to Micheletti.
A .460 on base percentage. With George Washington in the spring, he is as solid as it comes in terms of finding ways to get on.
The 3-0 is a strike. If you were to choose one little break in the armor of Armstrong, it would be the 1 walk and the 2 hit by pitches. If Micheletti could get 1 more ball to walk, it would make it 2 and 4 base runners and make it 5 with Penny's hit. The 3-1, Micheletti into left. Coming over is the center fielder Humphrey, and he makes the catch. Out number 2 on the inning. King stays at first, and Matt Halbach will come to the plate. Maybe a half step back from the plate this time.
I would be floored if we saw a 3rd hit by pitch on Matt Halbach. The last one up and in to his head. Luckily, he's all good.
Want to see him swing the bat. You know how much potential he has. He swings on this one and swings through the high fastball. He had really good numbers over at UCSD and looking to transfer it over here to the Cape. His first game as a Firebird.
And his first game in over 2 weeks, period.
The throw over to first, it gets away. Let's watch King run. He gets to second. Running over is the right fielder Carrier. King will stop at third. An error by Arendt as he tried to throw behind the runner King. And he'll head to third, now 90 feet away from scoring.
Things get a little bit more interesting for the Firebirds as a bit of a break in the action. Eddie King, double-digit stolen bags with Louisville this past season. I'd probably say the second fastest player on this Firebirds team outside of Austin Overn.
We might have to have a race on an off day
I'd
or
like
maybe
to see
before
that.
the game.
Maybe they've already been doing it.
Ball back, pops it up, foul, and out of play. Down 1-2 in the count. Armstrong, 1 strike away from 6 scoreless.
Halbach drove in just under 40 runs this past season with the Tritons in 50 games.
See if he can get number 1 with the Firebirds here. The 1-2 pitch, fouled, first base side out of play. And the chase on the hill is in effect.
Scramble for the ball. Saw a lot of it on Friday. Elementary school night. Tonight is school night, though, if school is still in session, as we are in mid-June.
1-2. Halbach still battling. Another foul ball. As you said, Ian hasn't played in more than 2 weeks. Trying to get his timing back and also using a different type of bat that he's used to.
The wood bat. It makes this league so difficult for hitters to adjust to, and on the contrary, for pitchers, easy to adjust to.
1-2. Halbach did not go. The check confirms that.
It's really good at bat. He's fouled away a few pitches. Not chasing. Good approach from the rising junior.
2-2 from Armstrong. And a third hit by pitch to Halbach. He tried to go almost like a sidearm slider. And it caught Halbach in the ribs. Once again, okay. However, his third hit by pitch And as they would say, that's baseball, Susan.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, John. It's unreal. I mean, nothing that Matt can do but just shrug as he heads to first, and third time's the charm. Manager Englert seems to be taking the ball from his ace.
The man who started opening day, he starts Game 7 of the season for Harwich. We'll see if that's the end of his night. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th with runners on the corners for Orleans.
It's a long conversation. Umpire is making his way out to the mound. 85 pitches in. Still throwing strikes.
And still in the game.
Unreal.
Armstrong will stay in. To face Jake Hyde. If there was ever a chance for the Firebirds to break out with one swing in the bat, Hyde could do it right here. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. On third is King. On first is Hallback. First pitch is outside. It gets away from the catcher, Arndt. King's going to score against Katuitt. First run scored by the Firebirds was a wild pitch. The first run against Harwich tonight, wild pitch. Eddie King comes in to score.
Just effortless speed with Eddie King. When he made his way around the horn, he was just jogging on the last leg of the trip, and right there. Takes a great burst.
1-0 is inside. And Ian, that play was all set up by Arndt, throwing it behind the runner at first. It allowed King, as you said, to get from first to third with no hits or anything necessary.
Defensive mistakes. When one happens, more follow.
2-0 to Hyde is outside. Check that. Now it's 2-1. Hallback moved up to second. Another runner in scoring position for the Firebirds.
If you can walk out of this inning with one more run on the board, you got to feel confident putting up a crooked number with still 3 more innings to go.
2-1 to Hyde. Swings through the fastball. What a boost it would be if Hyde could put one into a gap or maybe even over the fence.
He knows how to do that. 16 home runs with the Hoyas in the spring. Tied for second in all of the Big East.
Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 swinging. Armstrong through 6, allows 1. His 7th strikeout in his outing. That'll most likely do it for him. 90 pitches for Armstrong through 6. 7 strikeouts, allowing 1 run. We'll go to the 7th. 6-1 Harwich. Top 7, here we are in our booth. Score 6-1 Harwich, but Orleans puts one up in the bottom of the frame. Wild pitch allows Eddie King to score and gets the Firebirds on the board.
It does, but you wish a little bit more comes out of that. Obviously, Hallback in scoring position to end the inning, and another strikeout for Jake Hyde, one of your most powerful and consistent hitters through 6 games. You left a little meat on the bone, and a 5-run game, you're going to need to be near perfect now to get back in this ball game offensively if you're Kelly Nicholson's crew.
Trevin Hope right back to the mound for the Firebirds after allowing a run in the top of the 6th. First pitch strike to the batter for Harwich. They start with Hunter Fitzgerald.
Good day for him. Walking a single his last 2 times up.
Broken bat into center field. In comes and makes the catch is the center fielder, Austin Overn, who comes into the game as a defensive replacement.
Eddie King, maybe he's tired doing all that running last inning. But now Austin Overn going to make sure that he does not lose his title of consecutive games played to start the year. Now both him and Jack Penny, the lone Firebirds to appear in each of the first 7 games for Orleans.
First few pitches, 1 out for Hope, who fires a strike to Kennedy Jones.
Jones still the only member of the Mariners lineup not to reach today.
Watches the high fastball go by, 1-1 the count. With 1 out, Hope, who came in starting the 6th. Had a few flyouts. Looking for his first strikeout. 1-1, now he's 1 strike away.
Hope for a physically imposing pitcher, as you've alluded to multiple times, standing at 6'5", 6'6". Not necessarily a massive strikeout guy last year in summer ball, 48 Ks in 52 innings.
1-2, fouled up and on top of the hill.
However, during his last 2 seasons at Lewis Clark State in Idaho, 70 innings pitched, 83 strikeouts.
So bumping on the K numbers a little bit. Looking for one here. Up 1-2 in the count. Here it comes. Down third baseline. It's fair. Past Penny and into the corner. Rounding first and going for second is Jones. He's going to make it safely. Reaches out and pokes one right over the bag into fair territory. A 1-out double for Kennedy Jones.
Casey did everything he could and left. Lost the hat. Ball drifted out of fair into foul territory, and Carpellotti now going to have his second talk of the night with the Firebirds pitcher. First go around it was Leiter. Now it's Hope, who has to deal with more traffic and more runners in scoring position, just like last inning, where he surrendered a run.
Wasn't a bad pitch from Hope on that double either, Ian. It was Jones reaching out and finding a way to put it over the bag and past Penny at third.
There's a reason why teams are going to be interested in his services in the transfer portal. You know, we were talking to Eric Orloff, who pitched last night, the Arizona man. He said, look, guy hits a good pitch. I did my job. He does his. That's his job. You're not going to win them all, even if you do your job.
0-1 the count. Starts to get cooler here at Eldredge as it's fouled away into the trees. The breeze starting, not jacket weather just yet. Not like Wareham a week ago.
Oh, gosh.
No lightning, no rain in the area. Cross your fingers.
Shouldn't rain until the weekend. Should be a good week for baseball. And we'll have it all right here on the Birds Broadcast Network on our YouTube channel.
0-2. Fighting off his Scannell. Like you said, Ian, another home game tomorrow against YD. And then Tuesday, we head to Falmouth for the first time this year in the West Division. Back at Brewster Wednesday, and then back home against the Whitecaps, a home and home on Thursday. The 0-2 again, strike 3 called. Hope with K number 1 for out number 2 in the 7th.
First strikeout for Hope today. I believe his first strikeout as a Firebird through 2 appearances. Really well located pitch on the inner half.
Ryan Arendt, he takes his first, or I should say 4th, step into the box. He's reached twice, he's scored twice. Single and a walk. Swings and misses through the fastball from Hope. Still at second is Jones. Doubled as the second batter in the inning here in the 7th.
Arendt from UNC Wilmington, collegiate teammates with Catuit star Tanner Tatch, who, if you remember on Friday, was unreal against the Firebirds. 2 home runs, 3 hits period, reached on all 4 of his plate appearances.
1-1 to Arendt.
Brian's been pretty good tonight. He's reached twice, singled his last time up.
2 outs, runner on second. Arendt with a runner in scoring position looking to drive home Harwich's 7th run in the 7th. Some blankets coming out along the hill. The sky darkening. Still gorgeous. 2-1. Arendt chops it foul, third base side.
Beautiful skies. That's what the Cape brings you.
That's photo worthy up there. That's Instagram story worthy.
You see, I'm not an Instagram story skyline guy. I do like to let the people know where I am on any given night, especially if it's a nice venue like Eldredge, but I leave that artsy stuff to...
Look at that.
Yeah. Take a screenshot of that, put it on the gram. Tell the people you're watching on the Birds Broadcast Network.
2-2 to Arendt with 2 outs. Here it comes. Foul ball. You have the dark clouds, and then you have a little sliver of light blue.
The light at the end of the tunnel.
That's something better than I can even paint.
Well,
I was not a good painter.
You know who is? Chris Cook. Or Cole Cook, I should say. The assistant coach, former Firebird, helping out the pitchers. Moved to the Cape a few years ago.
2-2's inside. Everyone was walking off the field, but it didn't get the call. Count runs full on Arendt. Very creative man, Mr. Cook is.
Oh, he is. As I mentioned, moved to the Cape from Los Angeles full-time just a few years ago to fully pursue his career as a fantastic artist.
That'll be a walk to Arendt. The runner for the Mariners. They will bring up Lorenzo Carrier, who last time he came up with 2 men on, he went deep. That was in the 2nd inning against Leiter to give Harwich an early 3-0 lead. Carrier into right field. Over goes Micheletti. It will curl past him. It goes to the wall. 1 run in. Here comes number 2. Micheletti will throw it to third. Cut off the throw. The tag is out. 2-run score for Harwich. A 2 RBI double. Carrier thrown out at third. Jones and Arendt come around to score. We start to stretch here at Eldredge. 8-1 Mariners. New pitcher for the Mariners. They bring in Colin Rothermel out of Kansas State. The junior will pitch for the Mariners, up 8-1, bottom 7.
Not the only Wildcat in the lineup for Harwich tonight. Kalen Culpepper, who singled back in the 1st and is playing over at 3rd. The K-State teammate. But what an outing for Sam Armstrong. Personally, I thought maybe an inning too long. I think he could have gotten out 5 shutout. He did. But they decided to stretch him to 6. 85 pitches. A number you don't see too often here on the Cape. But it worked.
And here's Colin Rothermel out of Kansas State. Another righty with the stirrups. As we go bottom 7. Firebirds down to their last 9 outs, down 7. It'll be Olmsted, Casey, and Blake to take at-bats for the Firebirds, and Carpellotti, if one of them can get on base.
It's just been tough sledding. Maybe your confidence goes up knowing that the pitcher that had your number and Armstrong no longer out there, and you were able to make some progress offensively. Look, at the end of the day, these guys are here to develop their games and showcase their skills. You're down 7 runs in the bottom of the 7th. You've got nothing to lose.
First pitch to Olmsted is a strike. Olmsted out of USC. 8-1 Mariners. Now down 0-2 in the count after an off-speed pitch. Funny enough, Ian, as we sit here down 8-1 down 8-1 to the Mariners. 0-2 to Olmsted is inside. Johnny's middle name is Eldredge. Perfect for a Firebird. However, he spells it with an I. Eldredge. I should be in a spelling bee.
I don't know about that. Well, I shouldn't either. You and I visited Eldredge and Orleans in general in the middle of May before we got here full time at the beginning of the month.
1-2, swing and a miss. Rothermel's first batter up, first batter down on a strikeout.
So I decided when we came up here for the first time, as Rothermel gets off to a hot start, well, I'll tweet out to the people in the Orleans community I've arrived, and I'm going to be one of the guys to walk out for on Twitter. You can find the links to the games here, et cetera, et cetera. I posted a photo of Eldredge on my Twitter. I spelled it wrong. Eldredge.
Is that what it is spelled?
Is how it is spelled. I spelled it with an I, just like Johnny does in his middle name.
JC pops it up foul. 0-2.
And I was alerted pretty quickly I was wrong by the Eldredge expert, that being Coach K. Now in his 22nd year here in Orleans coaching at Eldredge Park.
JC now 1-2 in the count. In the end, he, as you said, quickly corrected you, and I don't believe Twitter has an edit button yet, did they?
Not for the common folk. If you have Twitter Blue, I could have erased that immediately. The ironic thing is, if I spelled it with an E, it would have shown up right at the bottom, like I spelled it incorrectly. So somebody spelled it incorrectly.
Oof. Casey almost gets hit by the fastball by Rothermel. Works from 0-2 to 3-2. I see where you're coming from, Ian. However, the scoreboard was in the photo. You could have just zoomed in.
You're right. There's no excuses. I don't make excuses.
Casey walks. Base runner for the Firebirds in the 7th.
Back-to-back walks for him.
But mistakes are made every single day. Andy Blake will come up to the plate. Last time out, he was so close to a home run in the 5th. Drilled one to left center, and a great play by Jacob Humphrey. Cut that chance off for Orleans. First pitch to Blake, swung through early on the all-speed.
Rothermel did have over a 6 ERA with Kansas State in the spring, but 6 of the 19 runs he gave up across 28 and a third came in just 5 innings against UC Irvine.
0-1 is high.
That's the thing about collegiate pitching is ERA doesn't mean a whole lot. Really in general, but especially at the college level, one bad outing can make you seem like you're not as good of a pitcher as you really are.
The 1-1 has popped up over our heads and foul. But you're right, Ian. Sometimes ERA is definitely boosted from one outing, and that's why all the behind-the-scenes numbers are kind of elevated or are now the new thing when it comes to spin rate and all the new analytics that pitchers can kind of depend on to see what type of pitcher they really are. 1-2, Blake reaches forward and pops it up onto the mound. Cutting over is Culpepper. Rothermel almost wanted to take that himself. Culpepper makes the catch.
Rothermel only had 1 put out all year.
Pitchers aren't usually the one to take it. The golden rule is if there's a pop-up back to the mound, get out of the way and let one of the infielders to take it. Rothermel went against that right there and almost cost the Mariners. Culpepper wouldn't allow it. The first pitch to Carpellotti is high. Runner on first is Casey. Down and in. And even though down 8-1, a big swing from Carpellotti could really get him going as the season goes along.
Hey, you want to walk out of this game with some positives, obviously, individually at this point.
He did go around, says the second base umpire. That's Mike Rubidoux. 2-1 to Carp. Runner on first is Casey. Another big swing and a miss. Evens up the count.
Owen, for a catcher, with back-to-back seasons at Georgetown with a high average, going to tie the shoe is Rothermel. 282 average as a freshman with the Hoyas, and it only improved as a sophomore, hitting 289. That's unreal stuff for a guy who plays behind the dish.
The 2-2 to Carp is high. Full count. Casey will be off with the pitch. Ian, as a catcher now, not only do you have to be good defensively, but also a little bit of pressure. If you are a good bat and you play catcher at a decent level, you'll be elevated very quickly. Full count, 2 outs. Casey off with a pitch. Carpellotti strikes out looking. Rothermel gets through the 7th with 2 strikeouts, 1 forward K, 1 backwards K. We will go to the top of the 8th.
Academy pitches. 118, 454. 118, 454.
Welcome back to the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm Sammy Miller. One player who's making their Firebirds debut tonight is UC San Diego first baseman Matt Hallback. Now, Kelly Nicholson is known for bringing in the best California talent here to Orleans, and he did just that with Matt. Matt helped the Tritons to their first ever Big West Championship title, and he's also no stranger to being an underdog. The Tritons went into the season as the 8th seed in preseason polls, and they ended up winning the entire thing. So it'll definitely be interesting to see if he's able to take that underdog mentality into tonight's game. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Sammy. Matt Hallback, as Sammy was mentioning, 3 hit-by pitches tonight. When's the last time you've seen something like that? Eric Orloff is the new pitcher in for the Firebirds. Last pitched on Friday against Catuit. Had a shaky outing. He's back looking for some redemption.
He is. And we had the opportunity to talk with Eric a little bit earlier today, albeit it was a bit of a show and go, or however you call it. The guys came a little later today than they usually would. He seemed like a really chill guy, you know, who just understands the nuances of pitching, and not everything's going to go your way. One thing he stressed to us, especially in a wood bat league, is you're going to trust your stuff a lot as a pitcher because you got the advantage. I mean, he stressed it to us, you know, hitting is the hardest thing to do in all of sports. Hitting a baseball is so difficult. And when you come to the Cape, it becomes even more difficult going from hitting with metal, where you touch the ball, it flies, to hitting with wood, where you don't know if the bat's going to break or not. You don't know how far the ball will travel. It takes 2 weeks, maybe even a month for some guys to really adjust to playing with a wood bat.
And do you think that's part of why we're seeing a little bit of shaky offense by the Firebirds to start the year?
You can't blame all of it on the wooden bats because Harwich, they're playing with the same bat, right? And they've got 8 runs tonight. They had 10 runs a week ago today against Orleans. But it affects different guys differently. So I definitely think it plays a massive role.
Orloff was the first man out of the pen after Daniel Avidia on Friday night's loss to Katuitt. The lefty out of U of Arizona. 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them being earned. He allowed a 3-run home run to Rodney Green Jr. into the Firebirds bullpen.
That was, unfortunately for Orloff and company, the nail in the coffin, I'd say, in a low-scoring game. Tied at 1. A wild sequence. Mike Roberts was thrown out. Katuitt's longtime manager. Fifth winningest manager in Cape League history.
Orloff gets the strike to go.
And then right after he was thrown out, bang, in the left field from Green Jr. And for Orleans, the offense not clicking just yet. Multiple runs given up at one time will hurt.
Strike 3. Running to first base is Camarillo as Carpelotti dropped it. He'll make the throw to Hallback to secure the strikeout. So first strikeout is a Firebird for Eric Orloff. From Tucson to Orleans.
Originally by way of Northbrook, Illinois, though. In the suburbs of Chicago. Surprisingly, Arizona does a pretty good job recruiting kids from Chi-City. One of 5 kids on the team from the Windy City. And one of 2 Firebirds, essentially. No longer in center field, but Eddie King Jr., also from outside of Chicago.
Orloff's 1-0 is popped into left. In comes Casey, but it drops in front of him. A single for Jacob Humphrey. He has reached in all 4 at-bats today. 2 walks, 2 singles. Like you were saying, Ian, Arizona does a good job of recruiting from Chicago. I think they'd probably come and visit him during December.
Yeah, I think that would be a good time to visit a guy who's freezing his tail off in the Midwest and say, look what we got over here. There was no real tie to Arizona for Orloff either.
Seaver King takes a ball. U of A guys come in. 20, 15 degrees in Chicago, the Windy City as well. And hey, you want to come play baseball all year round? You might sweat a little bit, but
I mean, he said when he committed to Arizona, he was the number 1 left-handed pitcher coming out of Illinois a few years ago. He committed to the U of A despite never really traveling west outside of St. Louis.
look at that. First time out west, and it was to play ball.
Sometimes you just have that mindset, right? You know, I want to go to a big school. I want to go to a small school. I just want to go somewhere where it's warm.
Must have been the thought for Orloff. 2-1 the count to King. It's a ball. And now 3-1 in the count. So he never really has been there to Arizona before he went. Put up good numbers, came out of relief in all different situations for the Wildcats. And a walk to Seaver King. That's been the name of the game for the Firebirds, right? You look at the pitching. And 5 walks by Leiter, 2 by Clark, 1 by Hope, and now a walk by Orloff.
You can't give a talented offense an opportunity to crowd the base paths. Plain and simple. You have to make the Mariners earn it. Too many times tonight. They've been able to cook with a lot of utensils all around the infield. That's not a great
I knew what you were doing there.
You know what I was doing.
Don't worry.
I was cooking.
You were cooking.
Just like, unfortunately, Harwich has tonight at the expense of Orleans pitchers.
Big curveball. But Culpepper out in front of.
A lot of it's self-inflicted.
You said it. 10 hits by Harwich. Sure, we know how great the offense is. However, 8 walks so far by Orleans. Those are 8 free passes, along with a hit by pitch. So make it 9 free passes that Harwich has not had to earn. 0-2 the pitch to Culpepper. Swing and fouled it to the backstop. Just got a piece.
And kind of uncharacteristic, I'd say, out of a team coached by someone in Kelly Nicholson known for developing fantastic pitching. So if there's one bright side, just know that there's, in my opinion, no better manager on the Cape.
Poked out into left field for a base hit. Casey will pick it up quickly, and it'll be bases loaded for Harwich after a single by Culpepper, who reached out and just dumps it into left.
Just to finish that thought, another good piece of hitting. Obviously, things going from bad to worse here with the bases juiced with only one out. I think Kelly Nicholson, and one of, if not the best manager on the Cape, if you are a pitcher, to be coached by. His pitching staffs have led the league in ERA 8 times since he took over as manager in 2005. That's not a coincidence.
The lefty Fitzgerald takes the first pitch strike down the middle, and Orloff now works himself into a jam. A single by Humphrey and a walk to King, and a single by Culpepper. After a strikeout to start the inning. Now 1-1 the count. A lot of West Coast men on this team. The first baseman Hallback. Talk about
Johnny Olmsted.
Johnny Olmsted as well. Austin Overn. Orloff leaves it low. Another defensive replacement for the Firebirds. Joe Oyama is in at second base.
Sammy mentioned it before the inning. Kelly Nicholson, the entire coaching staff has West Coast ties, and he's a leader in the clubhouse as a long-time California resident.
2-1 to Fitzgerald is fouled right back. 2-2, 1 out, bases loaded. Firebirds down 8-1 in the top of the 8th. When we get to the bottom of the inning, we'll give you some scores from around the league.
I know everyone's just waiting for that, especially how Yarmouth Dennis is doing. Tied game earlier.
2-2, swing and a miss. Good changeup from Orloff. Gets Fitzgerald swinging. His second strikeout. The second out of the inning. It'll come down to Kennedy Jones, who doubled in the 7th. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Orloff got himself into a jam and looks to get himself out of a jam. First pitch, swing and a miss.
Hasn't been the cleanest outing, obviously, for Orloff. Still trying to find his footing here on Cape Cod. Could be a massive confidence booster to know you've got the ability to get outs when you're dealing with traffic.
Another swing and a miss as Jones was looking to put that one into the police station. Way back in left field. Oh, 2 the count, bases loaded. 2 outs. Here it comes, waits on it. It's Jones. On third, Humphrey. Second is King. On first is Culpepper. Jones at the plate. Orloff's 1-2. Down the line. Will it stay fair? It will not. Jones is early again. Too early.
Kelly continuing to communicate, Kelly Nicholson that is, with the infield after seeing that high fly to left. Pulls the ball well towards left field, Jones does. With a lot of power. Reason why he's batting in Harvey order, doubled his last time up.
Do the 1-2 again to Jones. Back it goes to the wall and gone. A grand slam for Kennedy Jones. Now officially breaks this wide open. 12-1 Mariners.
Well, the announcer jinx is real. Propping up Kennedy Jones. Pulls the ball well to left. Extra base hit his last time up. And what does he do? Pulls the ball to the left and whacks it out of the ballpark.
So the Firebirds down 12-1. Forces a ball to Scannell up top. It's a rough one from Orleans tonight. Strike to Scannell. Orloff will take the 8th. Possibly another pitcher for the 9th.
No arm getting warm in the bullpen, from what I can see.
But this is truly the first game where, I know the offense didn't really show up, but the first game that the pitching didn't give the Firebirds a chance to win because it's been so good this season. Up the middle, Blake fields the high hop, throws to first for the out. Harwich puts up 4 on a grand slam by Kennedy Jones in the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom, 12-1, Harwich.
What Cape home design will you dream up? For over 16 years, Cape Dreams Building and Design has specialized in building custom homes for clients across Cape Cod. Our core values of honesty, integrity, and quality work are what separates us from other Cape builders and help us make your dreams of your next new home a reality. From new construction to additions and renovations, contact Cape Dreams today or visit our website at capedreamsbd.com.
10.
Your attention, please, now. Pitching for Harwich. From Boston College, number 37, Sean Hart.
Back here, bottom 8, new pitcher for the Mariners. It's number 37, Sean Hart, out of BC. We'll see if he throws hard. The 6'5" man with the skinny legs, 215, comes in protecting an 11-run lead for the Mariners.
Wow, Dylan. You going right for the throat.
Wouldn't say skinny's not a bad thing. Fit. Clearly keeps himself in great shape and can really throw it.
I think I like the term wiry.
I'm not against that.
Shout out to The Replacements. Great movie. You seen that movie?
Ian, do you think I have seen that movie?
It's a sports movie, Dylan.
We'll tell our audience how picky I am with my movies.
If
But
it's not
no, I
Adam,
have not
if
seen
it's not Adam Sandler, you're not watching it.
Most of the time, that is the case.
You just watched Star Wars for the first time a few weeks ago.
That's right. With my wonderful girlfriend Gabriella, did not finish the Star Wars movies. There are 9, correct?
Yes,
No.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and the new ones. They're okay.
Not your favorite. I did finish the middle 3. We'll get into that if this game continues on, as it has. Jack Penny down 12-1 as we go to the 8th. Sean Hart out of BC. Ian, what do we got on him?
Well, Hard has gotten the opportunity over the last 2 years with Bird Ball, but has struggled with a career ERA just under 12. And in 41 innings pitched across 2 seasons, only pitched 8 1/3 this past year in what was a fantastic season for Boston College in the loaded ACC. Appeared in 7 games with 1 start and gave up 11 earned. Big issue for him has been walks with 39 and 41 innings pitched.
1-1 in there for a strike. He looks in control right now, and this is a good spot for Harwich as well to kind of get Hard back on track. Get him going in a game where he can make a mistake or 2. Strike 3 looking.
Tons of potential. He was drafted by the Yankees out of high school. In-state kid, too, from Sleepy Hollow, New York. 20th round selection. Decided to develop his game at the collegiate level, and with opportunities like this, I think that's a wise move with 1 more year before he's draft eligible.
It's Austin Overn taking his first at-bat of the night. Came in as a defensive replacement in the 6th for Eddie King. Overn, he's shown promise this year, a few flashes here and there, and has about a week or so until he has to report to Team USA. Ian, you know the tools are there on Overn. Now it's about translating to the summer league.
The tool certainly translated to his freshman season. with USC. He was all Pac-12. Also on the all Pac-12 defensive team. He hit over 300. Extra base hit machine because of his high-end speed.
1-2 inside out swing. Will it drop? It will. Humphrey comes on to pick it up. Overn gets his third hit on the year. He'll stand on first.
That's what you want to see. Not leading off tonight. Joey Cooper over at first base. The assistant tapping him on the head. Only the third hit on the summer for Austin, but it only takes one. These are a few innings. They mean a lot towards the tail end of a game for a guy's confidence.
Micheletti called for a strike. A lot of speed over at first on Overn. Like you said, Ian, a blooper like that could really get Overn going. A lot of games coming up. A big curveball. Micheletti gets out of the way. Would have been the fourth hit by pitch for the Firebirds tonight.
In the first, that didn't hit the body of Matt Hallback.
Who stands on deck?
He's probably shaking in his boots.
1-1 goes way inside. Control starting to shake here on hard.
His second appearance in a Harwich uniform. Pitched an inning for the Mariners last summer, game up a run.
2-1, popped up, third base line. It'll reach the fans. The few that sit on the third base line and not on the hill. The BC man, a huge Yankee fan.
And drafted by them out of high school. Imagine how tough a decision that had to be.
Oh, man. Just turn down your favorite team. 2-2 is low, gets away from Arndt. To second goes Overn. Count will run full. The Firebirds start to threaten in the bottom of the eighth.
Obviously, being a 20th round draft selection, nothing to scoff at, especially out of high school. But from a financial standpoint, especially with the opportunity to go and earn a degree, earn an education, and still have the opportunity to go back to baseball. It's a tough decision. Daniel Avidia, he was drafted out of high school by the Cubs. Ended up working for him at Grand Canyon, and he continues to translate his good stuff to the Cape.
3-2, Micheletti fouls the high fastball back. All back on deck. Hyde after him. Let's do the full count again to Micheletti with one out. Popped into center. This one's hit well. Humphrey's going to circle and get under it. He'll make the catch over and fakes the tag. He'll head back. A fly out to center for Micheletti.
So you get Overn in scoring position. And now Hallback comes up once more. Trying to avoid a bump and a bruise.
Sure, he's already got a few of those tonight. 3 hit by pitches. Swing and miss.
You can't blame Hallback if he doesn't do anything here because it's just so tough. Wood bat, 2.5 weeks, if not more, out of a game.
0-1. Will it get over the head? It will. Circling third and coming to the plate is Overn. First game, 3 hit by pitches, RBI single for Hallback with a broken bat.
Never mind. Matt Hallback. California cool. You like what you see out of him today. Mentally tough. Could have easily exploded, I think, personally. Emotionally, just getting hit by a pitch 3 times. I'd be angry. But able to tap it in the left.
Jake Hyde swings and misses. Those are the type of hits, right? The Overn blooper. He moves to second on a pitch that gets away from Arndt, the catcher, and then a broken bat single. That's what the offense hasn't gotten. Those breaks haven't gone their way when the games are close.
No, they have not. Orleans has gotten unlucky. There's no doubt about it through 7 games.
0-2 to Hyde, swing and miss. 4th strikeout for Hyde. Hard gets through the 8th, but allows 1 run on the RBI single to Matt Hallback. We'll go to the 9th, 12-2, Harwich.
Your attention, please. Now pitching to the Firebirds from UC Davis, number 34, Danny Carey.
Back here, top 9. Harwich has got this one in hand. And a warm-up throw goes to the backstop by Danny Carrion from UC Davis, making his first appearance as a Firebird from the right side. He's got a lot of heat, as we just saw. And Ian, what do we got on him?
What do we got on Carry-On? As you mentioned, he thrives in these situations because he's got good stuff coming out of a bullpen. Just finished up his 4th season with UC Davis. All Big West honorable mention as the California connection continues. He's by way of Winters, California, less than 20 minutes from the school he attends, and it's about half an hour away from Sacramento. Really great senior season. 2.45 ERA, 19 appearances out of a bullpen, 34 strikeouts, and 29 and a third. And if you don't mind, I'd like to do my Susan Waldman.
All right, Susan, go for it.
Around the league, another tie. Falmouth and Yarmouth Dennis from Red Wilson Field, 4-4. So the Red Sox will come into town tomorrow to play the Birds at 6:30 off a tie. Bourne getting some juice back. But the game not final. 6-5. Bravos lead the Gatemen in the bottom of the 10th from Spillane Field. One last stand for the Gatemen. Brewster defeating Hyannis 3-0 on the road. And Katuitt with a 4-0 lead over Chatham. Top 5, red hot out of the West.
That wild, wild West. Danny Carrion in to face Brian Arendt. His 5th time up. A strike for Carrion. And I know there's a stat on Carrion that you want to mention. I'm sure it's the time.
Well,
and it's big, especially in this area.
I wish that Carrion made his debut with the Firebirds tomorrow against the Red Sox, because then it would be more appropriately named. Related to Red Sox legend Dustin Pedroia, second cousin.
1-2-3, Carrion, strikeout of Arendt.
Pedroia also grew up in the California area, outside Sacramento. 4-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glover, a couple World Series rings, and an AL MVP for one of the best Red Sox of the 21st century.
Strike called. Lorenzo Carrier, who got the first punch of many for the Mariners tonight. 3-run home run in the 2nd. Swings through a fastball from Carrier, and he looks good.
Yeah, he packs some serious heat. Used to play quarterback in high school. You can tell with what the radar gun would probably show, something in the mid-90s.
0-2 is just high. Look to go 1-2-3 again. This time on Carrier. Ball's called. Do the 1-2 with 1 out. Swing and a miss. Carry on. 1 batter up. Strikeout. Another batter up. Another strikeout.
With some guys, I think it's just effortless, right? Some people are built different. Natural talent. It's so interesting to see different guys work, right? You got one guy in Derek Clark who has to work for every out he gets. I'm not saying Danny Carrion isn't, but one guy just throws hard, right? And it just looks so easy, and it's not.
Some guys can get outs with velo and, you know, control maybe not mattering as much as it does to, as like you said, a guy like Derek Clark who has to come in and be very perfect and pinpoint with his pitches. 1-0 to Camarillo. Now 2-0. That's big. Dustin Betroya, second cousin. Some athletic blood in there from the Sacramento area.
Wonder if he's a Kings fan.
Oh, has to be. Has to be a big De'Aaron Fox fan. Camarillo pops this one into right. Micheletti's under it. Takes a few steps in and makes the catch. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Orleans down to their final three. Sean Hard on for his second inning of work out of BC, looking for the final 3 outs of tonight's game. One that Orleans will want to flush, one that Orleans will want to forget about as they host YD tomorrow, right back here, 6:30 start at Eldredge. Bottom 9, 12-2 the score with Harwich in front.
It's hard to say that the schedule doesn't get any easier because I don't think there's an easy out in the Cape. There's a lot of parity. Pinch hitter.
Joe Oyama will take an at-bat for Johnny Olmstead. Joe is 0 for 4 on the year, and a magic man, a wizard, I should say, with the bat. Taking the long flight from Japan to LA to play at UC Irvine. Oyama up 1-0 in the count. The lefty takes ball 2 from Hard, who has lost a little bit of control.
Well traveled.
And now he comes over to the Cape. Oyama takes another ball high. It'll be ball 4. So Oyama reaches for the first time this year.
Give him credit. A wizard with the bat. Joe Oyama. Not much more needs to be said.
An anteater over at UC Irvine. But man, he does such special things on a baseball field. I can't wait to watch even more of Oyama.
The permanent player for sure. Great college numbers in the Big West. The West Coast connection still strong in the Kelly Nicholson recruiting trail.
Casey takes a ball 1-1 with 1 out. Stay tuned for Cooling Down, our post-game show right after the final out.
I liked what I've seen from Jake tonight. Back-to-back walks.
Swing and miss through the hard fastball. Down 1-2 in the count. Oyama still at first. He won't be going anywhere with the score being what it is. However, Hard will check in on him. The throw, however, was soft.
Oyama has the ability to steal bases. Only 5'7", but he can fly.
1-2 is high. Hard with the fastball along with the curveball combo. It was all Harwich ever since the second. 2-2 pitch, strike 3 swinging. Casey down for the second time tonight. Hard gets his third strikeout of the day.
As we mentioned, Orleans gets another stab and an East Division foe tomorrow. YD comes into town. One of the top teams in the league so far through a week of action. 6:30 first pitch, 6:15 our coverage goes live.
Blake with a big swing and a miss through Hard's fastball. First time that we get to see YD this year. Here at Eldredge or period.
In general.
We haven't seen them, period.
I want to see that donut burger.
Yeah,
They'll
I know
have to
you're
wait.
excited.
I am really excited. I'm not going to lie.
Of course, it's 2 donuts act as the bun with the burger in between.
Can't say I've ventured that far into the food eating realm.
1-1, now 2-1. It'll for sure make you want to work harder at the gym the next day.
I already work pretty hard, I'm not going to lie. I can't steal a base, but I can run a few miles.
2-1, outside now, 3-1. You have the donut burger over at Red Wilson Field, which is interesting dimensions, and you'll have to try the donut burger. You have to look out for Snacking with Sammy on our YouTube account. She'll be all over that. One of the foods that you can only get on the Cape. 3-2. Something that you'll definitely want to bring napkins for.
Why?
Donut's very sticky.
It's true.
3-2, Blake swings and misses. Hard is now up to 4 strikeouts.
There's a reason why he was drafted out of high school.
From those Yankees. Carpellotti is the last chance for Orleans. Of course, you have the donut burger and some clam chowder.
Yeah, what a perfect meal.
You always want to have it fresh. Carpellotti fouls it off.
I've heard it's pretty good over in Harwich.
It's what we've been hearing. Or I don't know. You know, you have to have it fresh if you're having clam chowder. You can't put it in a microwave or a toaster oven or anything like that.
Well,
would you try that?
warm is warm.
0-1, popped up, foul. It'll get out of play. Personally, and it might sound a little bit rash, but I would take it fresh, and I'm not sure if I would warm it up.
Well, do you not like to reheat leftovers?
Clam chowder is one of those foods I feel like you can't.
What about soup?
Same way.
Wow.
0-2 pitch to Carpellotti. Same result.
Orleans going to drop to 2-5 on the year. 4th straight loss for the Birds since a 2-1 start. Harwich, meanwhile, who had lost 3 of 4 headed into tonight, improves to 4-3.
Do the 0-2 again. Oyama's running. Carpellotti fouls at first base side. The hill is thinned out, however, not completely.
You got to give credit to the Firebird faithful. And what has been an up and down start to the year, the hill is always packed. One of the bigger brands on the Cape.
Carpellotti takes the ball. Oyama advances to second on defensive indifference. Oyama to second. Carpellotti fouls another ball off to the netting.
Good at bat for Owen. Obviously, still working through that swing. Such a great season at Georgetown as a sophomore. Still in search of the first knock here in Orleans.
1-2, swing and a miss. Hard gets 6 outs, and 5 of them are strikeouts. Final score 12-2 Harwich on Sunday night. Harwich had the lead ever since the second inning when Lorenzo Carrier hit a 3-run home run. Orleans got one on a wild pitch and got one on a single by Matt Halbach. Pitching had a tough day, hitting the same way, and one that Orleans just wants to forget about.
I couldn't agree more. Obviously, there's not a lot of good you can take out of this game. Cam Leiter got through 2 innings of work on the mound. The bullpen was not able to pick him up necessarily outside of, I think Derek Clark was good yet again. I think you can definitely take that away. Dylan, you mentioned, maybe it's time to consider Derek Clark. Who knows how much longer you'll have him this summer as a temporary player. Be one of those starters.
It's a possibility. And as the final score is 12-2, you join us in the booth. Dylan Pescatore, Ian Nicholas. A game, and Harwich takes it to Orleans again. Now 10-3 last weekend, and now 12-2 today. You chalk it up as just another loss, whether it was 3-2 or 12-2. It's just one loss in the record book, and you move on to tomorrow against the Red Sox.
44, right? I mean, for me as a Syracuse fan, it means a little, special thing. But 44 for a Cape League season, that's the amount of games you play. The first 11, I'd say, if not more. How much do they mean? I mean, sure, they mean a lot individually for certain players. Scouts are out here. You want to build confidence. But honestly, I don't think we're going to be seeing these performances from these Birds in a week or two, or even in the July. It's just, this is not going to happen. It's a talented team. It's proven it's got the pieces, especially in the pitching regards. And reinforcements, I'd say, are on the way, right? And these guys are only going to get better from the plate. There's only one way to go. They're putting in the work. They're putting in the effort. They like each other. I think that's another big component of it. Mm-hmm. They're fighting for each other. The results aren't there yet. It is what it is. And I think, Kelly Nicholson is the right manager for this situation and for a lot of situations because there's only one direction he's thinking. It's up. It's positive. He's the most positive guy I met here. So things will turn around.
Positive thinking, forward thinking. 12-2 the final. Moving on to tomorrow. Another home game, 6:30 start against the YD Red Sox. Want to thank Mazio Construction as our post-game sponsor. All the love to them. But 12-2 the final tonight. And if you would have to pick one thing that the Firebirds really have to work on and come to the ballpark tomorrow with, what is it?
If I had to pick one on both ends, offensively, I think there's a lot of parallels. Offensively, weight. And defensively, can't hand out free passes. Too many free passes again tonight. It led to a decent offensive team in Harwich just getting a lot of opportunities to load the bases. Not figuratively, but just get a lot of traffic and capitalize on it. And then offensively, just, wait until there's a strike or two up there to really engage and realize, what your plan is and just give yourself an opportunity to reach a little bit more often with the walks. Walk more on offense and hand out less walks on defense. Again, easier said than done. I understand that. But the free passes on both ends will make your life a little easier.
That's right, Ian. 12-2 the final. Harwich takes it over the Orleans Firebirds, and we'll wrap it up here on the Birds Broadcast Network. We'll see you tomorrow, 6:30. Once again, Orleans hosts the YD Red Sox. Thank you very much, and thank you all for watching.